Okay, here we go. Broadcasting live, this is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. With your hosts, Honest Abe and Adam K. the Brewmeister. Listen to the show anywhere in the free world at KMATalkRadio.com.
I like to smoke them like some Prince Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, spunked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning, loyal listeners, libertarians, lovers of the leaf, everyone out there in Radio Land. Welcome to another exciting edition of KMA Talk Radio. I am Adam K. the Brewmeister, and we are back after a holiday hiatus. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Honest Abe.
Good morning.
Hello.
Tell you what, man, it feels like it's been a bit, right?
It has.
I said that to Nutter when we walked in today. I was
Right?
like, dude, it feels like it's been 6 months since I've seen you.
It does. It feels like it's been a bit and then some.
Oh, it has. And of course, with us, as always, Paul, the producer.
Hi.
Hi, Paul.
Any trip to Disneyland this break?
Disney World, and yeah, I had a couple.
A couple?
Well, we went for a few days after the last show that we did. So what's that? 3 weeks ago. So I'm jonesing for another one, but we'll be
So you
going
only went
February.
once since the last show.
Yeah, but I spent a few days there. Is that a problem?
No.
I don't understand. I spend my hard-earned money there.
It's not a problem. I just find it strange.
So, you want to hear a really great story? When I was leaving here,
Depends who's telling it.
well, me.
No.
Well, when I was leaving here,
He's going to tell us anyway.
yeah, when I was leaving here, I got a call from Disney, and I was upset. I was like, oh no, something's wrong with my reservation. And they said, sir, there's a problem with your reservation at Port Orleans Resort. And I was like, oh, great, here we go. The last couple of times I went, we had some minor issues. And they said, is it okay if we upgrade you to the Polynesian Resort? So I was paying $300 a night.
Did you have to think about it?
No, I was like, oh my god! That room was $1,400 a night, which I would never pay just on principle because it's a regular room. But we got upgraded, man. We're like ballers there. It's awesome.
So it just felt better that you had a regular room that normally sold for $1,400.
Yeah, and I was
As
paying
opposed to a regular
$300.
That would normally cost you $300.
It was in a different resort. It was on a monorail resort.
Oh, no, not a monorail resort.
Monorail.
They gave you a monorail resort?
I hate you.
Monorail.
Oh my God!
Monorail.
What an awesome, amazing experience!
You're just like jonesing to make fun of somebody
3 weeks
this morning.
I got 3 weeks of abuse to make up for.
What about him? You don't do that? You don't make fun of him every day?
I work with him every day. I don't. My abuse pool is constantly drained. It doesn't fill up.
Adam's the only one that's happy that the holidays are over. Like everybody else is in like that holiday slump. They're like, oh
Yes,
man, I
everyone
miss
finally
Christmas.
took all their Christmas decor down.
My Christmas tree is still up.
My Christmas tree is still up.
Why?
Is that just out of laziness?
I'll let you ask my wife why.
You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. And I will
Mine is still up
I
too.
don't ask my wife why.
No, rightfully so.
Smart man.
Yes, I don't ask my wife why.
Good call. Good call.
And would you like to introduce that voice there?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Our special guest today is...
One of our special guests.
One of our special guests. We have a few on the show today. Dynamite Derek Dukes.
DDD.
Good morning, everybody.
A child, ECW OG. Dynamite Derek Dukes. Welcome to KMA Talk Radio. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely great to have you. Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too.
We're going to have a pretty interesting show today. Lots to talk about today.
A lot of
And
stuff
just
going
in like the last couple of days, all of a sudden a bunch of things happen in the industry.
There's the 21. We're all, the Tobacco 21 now nationwide, which Coop and I will talk about a little bit later. But then we have the big announcement from the Big Four.
The Big Four.
Pulling out of the PCA this year. Davidoff, Altadis, Drew Estate, and General Cigar Company, which will be an interesting to see how that develops this year.
I found it. I mean, I don't want to dive too much onto the whole discussion, but I found it interesting that Fuente and Newman hadn't come out and said anything yet, or I don't know if they have yet or not.
Or were they waiting for the
I
bigger
mean,
guys to say something?
I don't see a company like Fuente making that move.
I didn't think so either.
Because honestly, for Fuente, the trade show is irrelevant. I mean, I shouldn't say irrelevant, terrible word, but they don't open new accounts, or supposedly.
They also don't release new cigars.
They don't release new cigars. Most are, and so they're maybe JC Duman does more business there as far as new business, and they sell a lot of accessories and their humidors and their Diamond Crown Craftsman's Bench. But I think for them, it's just historically being part of the organization and a pillar of the community that they're going to be there no matter what.
That was my thought as well.
And because there's actual people, right? This is a family, right? So who's the family from Davidoff, Drew Estate, Altadis, or General? It's nothing but a board of,
Yeah, that's
just
T-shirts
companies.
and suits sitting in a room making decisions.
Yeah.
So, I don't see Fuente even contemplating, not supporting the IPCPR.
Yeah, but what if everybody is not
The
going to be
PCA.
there
Well, it's not everybody. It's 4 people.
right now? But
Right now it's
don't
4,
you think that will make other manufacturers
Well, do you want to talk about
say?
this now, or do you want to save it for later in the show?
No, all right, we won't talk about it now. But I did. The one thing I want to mention is that Coop did a really extensive article about it, which I read through, and it was
Coop,
really.
do something extensive.
I know,
No
right?
way.
And
you're kidding me.
yeah, I know Coop is never known to go long and
They're free.
yeah. And I think they said they make up, those 4 companies make up something like 20% of the show floor.
Yeah. Oh, as far as space-wise. Yeah.
Space-wise.
Could be more monetarily.
So that's scary, right?
Because on top of having most of the floor. Okay, first off, well, now we're going to get into it. That
Well,
is
just
the problem.
briefly.
Well, I mean,
It's a
look,
tease.
I've been saying forever that the show floor, the footprint's too large,
You have, yep.
and it needs to be cut back anyway. So look, I mean, everything is salvageable if you pivot and start making the right moves. Unfortunately, the PCA, IPCPR, historically hasn't been making the right moves, and that's why they're in this predicament. So whether they pivot out of this or salvage it, I don't know.
Well, so this is an opportunity for them to.
Well, what it definitely is, without a doubt, is a wake-up call.
I thought that was your show, our show on that. I thought that was their wake up call when you had that big discussion.
Well, you would think so, but I'm just a nobody. Who's going to listen to me? Yeah, I'm just.
They didn't listen to you when you were on the board.
I'm just a no. Yeah, I know. I'm just a nobody. But
Well, you were probably one of the largest retailers, maybe in the country, right? Or at least in Florida.
in Florida, definitely maybe top 20 in the country. I
Okay,
don't
but
know.
still, you make up a large chunk of cigar sales overall in the country.
Yeah, I know, but what does that have to do with how the trade shows run?
I mean, it's
I don't run trade
the
shows. for a
business
living.
end.
Well, I mean, look, look. Why they're in the predicament now is not like no one saw it coming. It's like no one who's really in the street said, "Oh my God!" yesterday.
Right.
I mean, really. I mean, no one went, "Oh my God."
How could they do that? I can't believe that's going to happen.
I was more like, "Wow, it finally happened."
Mm-hmm.
Because this is
The
something.
shoe has
This is
dropped.
something. Just so you know, and it looks like we're getting into it anyway. But this is something that's been threatened for
A long
over
time.
10, 15 years.
But now,
You know,
here it is.
threatened. Well, I think
It was always in the back burner. Was the other part of it?
I think CigarCon gave them the out they needed. Because,
So they're all going there?
no. I think CigarCon was the one that pushed the threshold where it was just finally enough was enough.
You guys
you
have
know,
too many stupid ideas.
Yes, and what happened with CigarCon was it was the perfect opportunity for them at the end of the trade show last year to say, what a lot of people don't know is you have to put your deposits down at
Right.
the end of the show.
Right.
They didn't.
And I remember talking
and
about
I think
that.
there was 2 other manufacturers that didn't as well. Who ultimately I know
One
of them.
one that was here that said he hasn't put it down yet.
I think one ultimately signed up of the 6. I think
Okay.
that I knew about, but they didn't do it. Once they didn't put that deposit down, that just opened the doors for them to finally say, "This is the year." Because I guarantee you, that was a conversation that probably sat in somebody's office or boardroom every year for the last 5-6 years.
Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? Why are we? And they just kind of, they get stuck in that muck. Oh, we have to do it. But I think that
Cigar Con.
that CigarCon was the one that pushed them over the edge, and that by not putting their deposit down, because they were protesting at the time, because they didn't retract that for months later.
Right.
So by protesting and not putting their deposit down, it just started the process of saying, yep, this is going to be the year we're going to do it. The only problem is at this point it almost looks like collusion. It really, really does. It's very hard for anyone out there to believe that this wasn't done in collusion, which
Well, that's the question.
allegedly, I don't want to break it.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Alleged.
But I just say it looks like it. It looks bad. It looks like four big
So, like,
companies got together.
All the fat cats get together, smoke a cigar, and they're like, well, we're not going to go this year.
And you know, that's a federal issue. You know, you can't do that.
They can't say we're not going to a trade show and talk to each
Not
other?
if they colluded to do it together. That's a problem.
Why?
Because that's how you cripple something. I don't know. I don't make the law.
That's illegal? I cripple companies all the
It's
time.
called collusion. You can't do it.
I need to look this up. I
Look
don't
it
think
up.
this is illegal.
Look,
Collusion? Yeah, I understand it's...
if they got together, made and planned it. Because look, the PCA come back and say this just devastated us. You just ruined our company. You know.
Well, then do things right so that you get those companies to come in.
I agree, and like I said, like if one dropped off this year, two dropped off next year, but for the big four to all do it, and I read the letters. Have you read the letters?
No.
Some of them, I mean, just kind of
Similar?
It just kind of looks like there's a collusion there, but
The copywriters didn't change them enough?
Colin's texting me, instead of collusion, use collaboration.
there you
then
go.
it's not illegal.
Actually, so apparently Glenn Loop was texting me during the show now, and just sent me the issue the CRA just issued a statement on the 2020 Premium Cigar Association trade show. I haven't read it yet.
Well, would you like to read it?
Sure, why not?
Go ahead.
This is the statement from the CRA directly from Glenn Loop, who wanted to text me during the show, even though he knows I'm on the air right now. Cigar Rights of America is a coalition of consumers, retail tobacconists, and family-owned manufacturers of premium handmade cigars, announced its support for the Premium Cigar Association trade show, as well as the legislative and regulatory agenda that has been forged by the two organizations. Glenn Loop. CRA has been built by the traditional family-owned companies that manufacture premium handmade cigars, and those same companies will support the 2020 Premium Cigar Association trade show. Now more than ever, it is important for the industry to gather with its retail partners. And that seems to be the big gist of it. Yeah, just some numbers in there.
So...
Yeah, I mean, I saw that coming.
Yeah.
There wasn't going to be a issue with the CRA there.
But thank you, Glenn, for giving
As
us
always.
that immediate update right here on KMA. You heard
You
it
heard
first.
it here first on KMA
Yes.
Talk Radio.
I mean, look,
We give you the good
here's
stuff.
the thing, too, that 20% of the showroom floor, and I think this is an argument I've heard over the years, too, right? They carry a lot of the show, floor space-wise, sponsorship-wise,
Right, money-wise.
money-wise. And, a lot of these guys that are mid-level to low-level, they get the benefit of all that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
The
Because
trade
people are
show's
coming.
more for them than listen. Drew Estate can reach everybody they want without ever leaving their offices.
Right.
Like Davidoff can reach everybody they want. They have the funds, they have the money, they got the people on the floor in the streets, in
Right.
the air, flying around the country. They have the back end marketing to build websites and portals for people to go on and do their ordering. They have people they can put on phones to call. They have the reach. They don't need the trade show.
Right.
So that's part of their argument too, because it's just it's unbalanced as far as how the show's carried. I think,
But all these little guys that come in with a tiny booth space benefit because the big
Sure
guys
they
are
do.
there kind of footing
Sure
the
they
bill.
do.
They get put next to the right guy. Hey, they might get seen.
Well, it's hard when you only have 5 or 6 right guys and you got 300 booths. You know, I mean, it look. It's been issues. I mean, I can't even remember, but if I had to guess now, when I sat on the board, it had to be almost a decade ago. If not more. And it's basically 10 years later, it's the same issues.
Yeah.
They haven't been addressed. And, I mean, if you don't pivot and you don't react and change with the times, that's what happens. Look what happened to Kodak. Kodak thought film was going to be around forever.
Polaroid, same way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look, yeah, they didn't realize.
Polaroid's back, baby.
Yeah,
It is?
But Kodak thought they were in the film business. They didn't realize they were in the memories business, right? Preserving memories. They didn't want to make the pivot, and that's what happened. So, I think there's going to be a huge rally from the mid. Look, it's almost like a purge. It's almost like a cleansing. Yeah, I think if the right decisions and the right moves are made at this point, you might be able to come out with a better show overall.
It could be
at the end.
the boutique
It doesn't
show.
need to be boutique. It could become a really better show. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt for a few years.
Right.
But it's going to take really a lot of. And here's the problem: this isn't a full-time job for these
Right.
guys. The
So do
board's
they
made
want to
up-
deal with the headache?
The board's made up of retailers who have their own jobs, and you can't solve everything by getting on a conference call for an hour and a half once a month. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I mean, I do. This could be the beginning of the end, or this could be the beginning of the revival. It just depends what they do at this point.
I can't wait to hear Coop's perspective on it. Do you know Coop's perspective? Has he hasn't made an
I
opinion
don't
known,
think
right?
his perspective is going to be much different than what I've been talking about because it's the facts. I mean, what I'm saying here is not really that my opinion. These have been the facts for the trade show now for a long time.
Right,
you know?
right.
You know, the opinion is what's going to happen now and what you think or what you foresee is going to come in the future. Everybody, nobody knows. We're just going to see what happens,
Also, interesting fact, we are now just a couple of days, if not weeks, away from TPE of 2020.
Well, I did make a statement here.
For the listeners out there that don't know what that
Tobacco
is.
Tobacco Expo. It's the
Tobacco
other big
Products
Tobacco
Expo.
Product Expo. It's the up-and-coming trade show that is actually run by a
It's been around
corporation.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Is that the one that, like, if you want to go, they'll hook you up? Like,
Yeah,
they'll send a limo for you and all
Well, no,
that
but
stuff?
they'll fly me out there if I want to go.
Right, that's
Put me
right.
up,
Okay,
yeah.
we've talked about them then.
I mean, look, TPE's been around for a while, and it's always been like the other show, but they've been doing
Coop's already commenting.
Already on.
He said, please not a boutique show, please.
right. I agree with him on that. They had a restructuring. They've put a lot of effort into it, and it got acquired by Phillips and Kings, and they've been doing the right things for their show to grow. And people for a while now, many years, guys who like Jeff from Corona or whatever, like I would never consider to have gone to a TPE. They're all going now.
Mm-hmm.
So I said it here when CigarCon was announced. I said, like, I really predict within 3 years there'll be a merger, that the TPE would acquire the PCA, and we would just
looking like that's more of a possibility now.
looking more imminent now than ever. But I just think, honestly, I think it's the better move for the industry as a whole. I don't think
For them to merge.
Yeah, look, I don't think you need a segregated show. Make it one bigger event. Use the synergies of the group. Why split people up? Why make guys go out twice a year? It just makes sense.
Yeah.
You can have a premium side, and you can have a mass market side, and a lot of guys may start blending. Guys who did a lot of mass market may start carrying a little bit more premium. Guys,
Right,
premium.
right.
It just couldn't hurt the industry. I don't really think so. And you'd have a synergy of doing one event, which would be a lot easier and better than trying to manage two different segments of basically, tobacco industry.
Right.
So,
Well, we'll get into it.
fun times.
We'll get into it a little
Fun
bit later.
times. So anyway, our special guest here is Mr. Dynamite Derek Dukes. From a childhood fan to a pro wrestler holding major titles, he's a self-proclaimed ECW OG. Dynamite Derek Dukes has quite the story. Derek, welcome to KMA Talk Radio.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
All right, you have to translate for our listeners ECW.
Extreme Championship Wrestling.
You don't remember ECW?
I just said for our fans.
They know ECW.
Not everybody knows
Not everybody
what
was
it
into
means.
wrestling.
I didn't know what it meant, but I knew what it was.
Get it right, Paul.
I'm sorry.
So you're one of the originals.
Yes,
How many guys were in the ECW at that time?
Well, it's not the fact of how many guys. So many guys came in
And
through ECW, in and out. ECW was actually a walkthrough for most of Vince's guys.
okay,
But I'm an original that I started in 1997. ECW, not Eastern Championship Wrestling, Extreme Championship Wrestling started somewhere around 94.
okay.
And then they started to get originals who stayed with ECW the whole time. And I was with them from 97 to 01, right to when Vince bought them and closed the doors and threw us out in the street.
Is that what he did? He bought it just to get rid of the competition? Is that...
That's what he does.
Okay.
That's exactly what he does.
So your love of the sport started at 15.
I would say a lot younger than that.
Really?
But, oh, yeah.
What's
yeah.
the first earliest experience can you remember about wrestling?
So, of course...
Did you take like your cousin and turnbuckle him in the corner on the sofa?
No, my sister, actually.
My sister, no.
Yeah.
No.
I beat my sister's ass.
No.
So yeah. If she's listening, trust me, say something, Michelle. Oh, yeah. I whooped my sister's ass. I grew up in the hood. We were so poor, we couldn't afford the so we grew up in the hood.
Jeez.
So you had the old black and white TV with the turn dial. Of course, the turn dial was broken, so you had to use pliers.
To turn the white knob. I've been there. Done that.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Lynn, Massachusetts.
Okay. Where is that as like in relation to Boston? Or?
It is 15 minutes right outside of Boston.
Okay.
Right outside. And remember one morning getting up early and you had all the static and I happened to click on and there's this guy going mental. Blonde hair everywhere, yelling and screaming, going crazy, talking about
Ric Flair?
walking that aisle and Space Mountain, and he was just going crazy. He had this big, beautiful gold belt. And then a bunch of guys joined, a bunch of other monsters, all with gold belts and looking good. And they were just talking about, like I said, styling and profiling and walking that aisle and chop double A and said, tell them double A. I was just so intrigued. And it was a company called the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, which was way before the dead turn of bullshit, all that stuff. This was the real professional wrestling. And I was hooked. So the only time ever in history the NWA went to Boston, ever. A buddy of mine gave my mom some tickets, so we went. Put it this way, the tickets I had were so good, Marvelous Marvin Hagler sat behind me.
No.
Him and his kids sat behind me. That's how good my tickets were.
Holy cow.
And I saw a bunch of kids up in the stands, and they were around this big guy just sitting there by himself, and I said to one of the kids, I go, who's that? And the kid looked at me like I had 9 heads. You know who that is? No. That's Killer Kowalski. Ooh. I know that name. Went up. And
How old are you at this point? 15?
14, 15.
Uh-huh.
And I remember that he kind of looked up and he stood up. Now listen, I was born 5'5". There's nothing I can do about that. It
I was gonna
sucks.
say,
And
not your typical wrestler height.
no, not at all. And Walter stood up and I was just like, holy shit. I mean, he's 6'8", 6'9".
Oh,
And he
huge.
put that mitt out. I mean, it looked like a catcher's mitt hand. And my hand disappeared when I shook his hand. And he asked me, how old are you? And I told him I was 15. Shit. Paul, come here. Guy comes over, gives me a card. Call me when you're 17. I want to see you. Holy shit.
Just like that.
Like, really?
Yeah.
So I went to the gym and got in shape, and it's my 17th, of course,
So you're waiting now. For
Oh,
your
so you
17th, you're
shitting me?
counting the days.
counting the minutes, counting the days, and my 17th birthday, of course, is in January. You and I are a day apart. I literally went to Malden, Mass, to the address in Malden, in Malden, Mass, and he was in right near the train station in an abandoned building upstairs. It was funny as hell. And I walked up, and I had the card in my hand, and he remembered, and I had to be 18 to join.
What happened? It changed?
Yeah. But he goes, but I thought what he said back then, I was in really good shape, and he still liked the way I looked, so he goes, I'm not going to lie to you. If you get hurt, we're going to drag you outside. I got no problem with that, Walter. Just make sure I have my jacket on. That's all I care about. We're in Boston. It's cold in this bitch.
We gotta drag you outside.
So first day of class, standing there, of course, I'm the shortest guy in the place, like always.
I was gonna say you're surrounded by taller
Monsters.
people in the industry.
And Walter walked right up to me, and all of a sudden, changed. Looked me right in the face. Headbutted. That's where that scar is right there.
Really?
No way.
Yeah, that's where that scar is right there. He headbutted me and said, I'll make sure you're never a professional wrestler.
What?
That's what that scar is right there. He headbutted me. Whack. Right between the eyes. Blood just pouring down. Tears pouring down. Because that's the good spot.
Yeah.
And I did the whole 2-hour class. Bleeding. Didn't even touch the blood. Didn't wipe it off. I just went to the class.
Jesus Christ! The first day.
First day.
I felt like doing that to you the first day on the job.
I'm sure you did, but
Yeah.
that would be frowned upon.
I could help you out.
I'm good.
Now, look, looking back on that, right? Because, like that whole incident with John Stossel and what's his name?
Oh.
He's leaving me. The memories of me. They kind of drank their own Kool-Aid about
Oh, you better
who they
believe
were at the time, right?
I believe it.
I mean, today I don't think there's anybody in this organization at the time doesn't know, hey, we're entertainers, right?
That's correct.
And they're happy with it, and they're all right with it. But back then, they just kind of,
They
they believed in...
They were professional wrestlers. That's what they did for a living.
Yeah. And because, he's doing that, and that's like, he believes that this is the kind of guy you gotta be.
I mean, Stossel didn't have to be that much of a dickhead. I mean, he really gave it to Dr. D. David Schultz.
Yeah,
But
Doc David Schultz. Yeah, but David Schultz wasn't kind of like...
he was off-hinged anyway.
Yeah, he was kind of unhinged
Holy
anyway.
God.
So-
You should have known not to poke the bear.
Oh, yeah.
Or let's not be that standing that close.
Right.
Especially Schultz, because Schultz would smack his mother if he talked back.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, he was mental. He was really mental in the
But I
head.
think a lot of the guys in the earlier days were, I don't want to say mental, but their perception of what they were at the time. I don't think it was kind of on par with the reality of the situation.
So you're saying it wasn't showmanship or entertainment? It was.
Oh no,
man, these guys were
Right.
brutes back in
Oh
the
yeah,
day.
oh yeah.
These guys were, I think, really kind of enjoyed the violence of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that scares me.
No, I think because I grew up. Listen, we weren't hardcore wrestlers. I remember WWF, Mean Gene
Yep,
Okerlund.
Mean Gene.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up a little bit. My brother ended up being like a real hardcore guy for many years of his youth. But, I mean, looking back on it, and then hearing stories like this, where, 17-year-old kid walks in, you headbutt him to
That's
death.
insanity.
You headbutt him and give him a scar for life.
Oh yeah,
Right?
That scarf.
Right?
There.
This is not acting for them at this time. These guys are physical guys that have found a way to make a living, beating people up, and they were enjoying it. They were enjoying it. And I think the successful ones who endured many, many years figured out that, hey man, we're entertainers.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm not here to get beat up and
Is
beat
that
people up.
the Hulk age? Is that when that happened? When he became big?
In '84, when the whole Hulkamania thing started, Sheik put him over for the title.
Right.
And Vince wanted it. Vince now. Vince Jr. wanted to get away from his father's persona. Like for instance, when Vince took over, Vince Jr.
Yeah.
won now.
The one that everybody knows now.
One everybody knows now.
Yeah.
Senior champion was Bob Backlund, the most vanilla guy you'd ever see
Right.
professional. Don't get it twisted. Unbelievable wrestler, collegiate wrestler, great worker.
Well, don't get me wrong. These guys are all athletes.
Better believe
I mean,
it.
they are hardcore
Better
athletes.
believe it.
Oh yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
I think the psyche back then of these guys would just be brutal.
And that's the whole thing too, because back then, like the chairs we use now are metal. Back then they were wooden, and they weren't cut. You got hit with a chair, you got hit with a chair.
Yeah.
You were out for a couple of days recuperating from that chair shot because they didn't hold back and they weren't cut and ready to be hit. You picked up a chair, a folding chair that was wooden, to smash you.
Wow.
Tables too. Tables, and they, back in the day, the WWF people used to cut tables so they break easier, which was bullshit to me because in ECW, I was the one, we call it paying dues. So,
Paying dues is basically getting whacked with chairs and tables.
I didn't win my first match for 2 years. Oh yeah, so you pay your dues. But I was also the one who drove the truck, who put the ring up,
Wow.
put chairs up, put banners up. I was street team. No, street team, of course, is you go out to a certain area with
Hand out flyers and
put
stuff.
the flyers on the cars, all that shit. I did
I've
all
done
that.
Yeah.
I've done it all. I've driven the truck to a Staples and been thrown out of a Staples asking, can I buy 50 tables? I'm like, fuck out of here. Thought I was joking.
Right.
No. I need to buy 50 tables and 50 chairs. Are you serious right now? Yes, if you got them, I'll buy them.
Jeez.
So they have their people. Listen, I got the corporate credit card. Well, Paul's credit card, not corporate, but Paul's. You swipe that card for all those tables and chairs, put them in the truck, and bring them to the arena. Well, yeah, I've swept the ring, put the ring up. I've done. You have to. You do it all.
Now, as a layman fan, which I call myself, here's somewhere maybe you can help me out, maybe a lot of our listeners. Can you give us a Reader's Digest or a simplified version of the historical tree of wrestling? Because I always get confused of the WWF, NWA, NWO. It just got very complicated, and for growing, I think maybe that's why I didn't know who was where and what. And what evolved there?
Wrestling.
Because it was kind of like all NWA early on, no? Or I mean,
Well, back in the day, we had a thing called territories. There's no more territories because Vince bought them all.
right?
Okay, so
It's kind of visionary
it is. But you know what? Why would you buy
to destroy.
to destroy?
That's true,
I want competition.
right?
You know what, Abe? I want you to send me to Memphis to face someone in that organization because you think that it'd be a great match.
Right.
No, let me just buy it, pick who I want, and shit can the rest. And that's what he did with ECW.
No.
And
Well,
he
maybe
put
that-
about 30 of us out the street.
I mean, that's what he did with like the entirety of it. Because when he took over the company from his father, I mean, there was the regionals in the late '70s,
Better
early
believe it.
'80s, and that was just everybody just had their own regional place, and they all just traveled around the circuits within those regions.
Correct.
And then when he took over, we're just a national organization
He
now.
stopped it.
Yes.
That's what we call territories. Like, for instance, Hulk Hogan could not now go and work for Vern Gagne in AWA in Memphis. Vern Gagne, who owned the AWA.
Son Greg Gagne.
Greg.
Yeah.
Now, here's an egotistical jerk-off. This is a guy who said, I'm going to start a wrestling company. He's a collegiate wrestler. And his school was in a barn at his house, on his property. So he starts a wrestling company. He walks in one day and he had a gold belt. And he goes like this. He goes, welcome to the AWA. I'm your champion. That's what he did.
Made himself champion of his own.
Right, just made himself champion. That's it. I'm the champion. And didn't lose for quite a long time. You know, you got egotistical guys like that because they thought they were the best at what they did. I mean, Vern was good. He was a collegiate wrestler. He was not a professional wrestler. He definitely wasn't. If you see his older stuff, he sucked. But this is going to...
Greg made a decent career out of wrestling.
And it's funny, too, because his dad held his his shorts because he wouldn't let him move forward in the company.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Would never, ever let
All
him
right,
move.
so where did it all start?
Carnivals.
Carnivals. See, that is where it gets good.
Wait, what?
Wrestling started
Carney.
in carnies.
All right.
Carnies.
Listen, if you listen,
I guess-
as he's telling me about being part of the road team,
Yeah.
and I'm saying
I guess it
myself,
kinda
this is
makes
a carny,
sense, yeah.
This almost
Correct.
sounds like a carny.
Gotta believe it.
I was saying this to myself in my head as he's telling me the story.
And some of the
This sounds-
personalities that are
this
in it,
sounds
you know,
like a
makes
carny
sense now
life.
that they're
Now it
carnies.
makes sense.
That's right. It started in the carnivals. It started with, you know, a guy in really great shape who would, you pay 10 cents to see him wrestle a bear.
Like the strong man or something.
Correct.
Okay.
Like a real bear.
A real bear, you know? Where they put a
Not
muzzle,
you.
they put a muzzle on him and stuff like that, and he'd wrestle a bear, and then he'd wrestle a cheetah, or all the bullshit. And then finally, it got a little stale. So they were like,
Let's
okay,
throw another guy in.
let's do this. Let's pick someone from the crowd.
And everybody wanted to be a tough guy.
Of course.
Everybody wanted to be a tough guy.
But
then-
did they have real guys or plants? They had to have plants.
I bet you some of it was real guys.
Trust me, when it started, they were like, I'll give you $100 if you can beat him in a minute.
Oh my god.
And of course, the wrestler in the ring would beat the shit out
Right,
of the guy
right,
they
no
just
question,
picked out.
right? Yeah.
But then eventually it got to, okay, you, sir, I'll give you $500 if you can beat him, which was one of the guys from the Carnies. And they'd go at it for 5 minutes, and people were like, holy shit, this guy can...
This could
He
happen.
almost won $500.
He almost won $500. I think I can do that, you know, and that's how it all started in the Carnies.
Wow.
Mhm.
Never knew that.
We actually have we have a language in professional wrestling, and it's called Carney.
Really?
Yeah, a lot
So
of
what's a carny word?
well, pretty much like if I was to say I'm going to go to Habe's his house for the Drizzugs.
Okay, yeah. Didn't get it.
See, I'm going to go to your house for the drugs. You just put everything in a different term.
Kind of like Pig Latin?
Yeah, I was just going to
Okay,
say that.
it
It is
sounded-
kind of like...
It
Exactly.
sounded a little Pig Latinish.
Exactly, and that's exactly what Carney is, and that's how they used to talk to each other. They had their own sayings and their own everything.
So who was the first guy who said, okay, we need to take this out of the carnivals and put this in the ring? Do we know? I mean, I don't know. You know.
Back in the day, with because you figure professional wrestling somewhere in the 1900s, guys would just
That early.
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, when, you know, the guys would just get in the ring for 60 minutes because they were in such great shape, and not the wrestling moves you see now, of course, because there were no high flyers.
Right.
I mean, if a guy went to the second rope, people lost their mind back then. Now you got guys jumping off fucking balconies, on
Right.
tables and shit.
Right.
You know,
I guess television must have helped.
television helped out huge.
Yeah.
Because in '84, when that whole thing happened with Hogan, they called it the Rock and Wrestling Connection. They brought Cyndi Lauper over.
And Lou Albino.
Yeah, exactly.
Lou Albino.
So they did all that to make it way more mass to the people to see. So the kid, you know, like Hogan with the, you know, say your prayers, take your vitamins, all that
Yeah.
bullshit, which was bullshit because he was, you know, between him and a lot of the other guys were taking supplements.
Right.
I don't take supplements, by the way.
I do. They're called
Him and-
heroes.
exactly.
Him and
Sandwiches,
Randy
meatball
Savage were in
sandwiches.
the back with a pharmacy back
Oh my
there.
god, it was
Oh, yeah.
Not just Slim Jims.
oh no, not
Well, the Iron Sheik was in that group too, right? I mean, he used to talk about. I mean,
cheeky baby.
Randy Savage's family got mad at him because he used to say that Randy Savage used to steal his cocaine
Oh my god,
all the time, and he'd make a big stink backstage.
Wow.
I'm telling you right now, Abe, if you ever get the chance, ever get the Iron Sheik in here,
Yeah, well, okay, if you can make it happen,
Bro.
I didn't even know the Iron Sheik was still alive.
Can I be in a different room when he's here
Bro,
though? Because he is off. He's crazy.
Is he Middle Eastern?
Yes,
Yes, he is.
He
Then I might
really
have
is from Tehran, Iran.
Hey, I might have a shot then. Maybe I can
Bro,
get the Habibi card. Use the Habibi card.
off the hook.
Where is he?
Atlanta.
We have done a show. He's been on the Stern Show a lot, but he's like off the. Like they have to have extra security in there because he is crazy.
I'm telling you right. Well, no, that's all.
Is that a show?
As soon as the cameras come on,
Okay.
that's the show.
Okay.
But
I'm all right with that. Then.
Sheiky Baby. Well, first of all, Sheiky Baby will tell you. He'll go, Abe, I need my medicine, which is marijuana. I need something to drink. Whatever,
Whiskey.
Whiskey, whatever the hell you're gonna put in front of him. And he'll always want a 6-pack of, I believe it was Schlitz.
Oh,
Oh my God. Well, I mean, we could make that happen.
Paul.
But he'll always tell you. He'll go, yeah, I had my medicine today. Oh, you had your medicine. Good, thank God.
How old is he now?
70s.
Jeez.
And 70s for a wrestler, especially that worked as much as he did. He's in
That
bad
got
shape,
really
right?
beat up.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in that day when they really took a beating back then. Yeah, when Paul brought out ECW, we wanted to be different, and that was the whole thing about ECW. We didn't want the old Vince McMahon bullshit. We didn't want the WCW, World Championship Wrestling, when NWA got bought out. We didn't want any of that stuff. We wanted to be different. So we were. We just had a bunch of crazy assholes from Boston and Philly and New Jersey, and we just beat the shit out of each other on a daily basis. And I can tell you that every match that I ever had in ECW was the most painful match I ever had in professional wrestling.
Oh God.
That 5 years working for Paul took 20 off my life.
Do you have any sustained injuries from those days still?
Yeah.
He's got a scar in the
Well,
middle
other-
of his forehead.
yeah.
All right, other than the scar, but I know a lot of guys have back issues. They have
I've,
broken bone issues. Like things didn't heal properly.
My left hip is titanium.
Wow.
This is cadaver.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, it's been fun. It's been real fun. Yeah, it's
Now, you recently just won a title?
well, not just recently. It's been a few months, but yeah.
No, that's recent.
The NWA, again, the National Wrestling Alliance. You guys all know who Billy Corgan is.
Yeah.
Musician.
Musician, yes.
Musician, Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins, yeah.
Today.
Billy Corgan bought the NWA.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Now, is he just a wrestling fan? Or is
He's
this...
always been a wrestling fan.
It's funny.
Now, note back quick. When Paul Heyman from ECW met Billy, he wanted Billy to invest in ECW. So he was like, okay, Billy, I want you. All right, Paul, what do you need? He goes, I need $1 million. Okay, what am I going to get back? And Billy put the numbers together and was like, I'm into making money, losing money, so I'm gonna pass. But when the NWA came up for sale, he bought it, and he brought back the original, and I mean old school. Back in the NWA days, they were in a studio, kind of like this, with a ring, some fans, and an announcer.
Wow.
That's it. Billy brought that back. And he brought back a lot of the older guys, like the Rock and Roll Express.
Wow.
Rock and Roll Express is a team from the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, that are now still wrestling.
No.
How
Yes.
is that possible?
They just won back for the 7th time the NWA Tag Team titles. And the one thing Billy did, which I really appreciate, Billy brought back all the original titles from the NWA. The only title he doesn't have is this one.
Hold that up for everybody to
He
see.
didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't bring back the United States Championship. He's bringing back the TV title now, and the belt he has, he calls it the international title or something, was the original NWA United States title. It has a big red belt, and it's got the whole United States in the center of it in gold.
Oh, wow.
That was the original back in the 70s. That was the U.S. title. Then they brought this one out. But you can buy into the NWA and have an organization. So a bunch of my ECW guys were here in Florida wrestling for a company, and the kid said, hey, you know anyone local who would... My friend Tommy Dreamer from ECW gave him my number, and he said, I checked all your stuff. I I got your background. People love you. Your old boss. You're good with me. So, didn't know me from Adam. Calls me down for a show. $300 for the show. Put me up for room for the night. I worked for 8 minutes, and he put a title on me.
Wow.
46 years old, bro. Listen, that 8 minutes took me 2 weeks to recover from. That's how out of shape that I'm in. Brother, I haven't been in a real wrestling ring since my brother passed away in 2015. I retired. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. A year to date, I'm at a cigar shop in Nashua, New Hampshire, and Tommy Dreamer calls me. And he opened a company called, it's not, because he works for Extreme Championship Wrestling, it's called House of Hardcore, in the same ECW arena in Philly. And he goes, one more match, I'll make it worth your while. So I get down to Philly, and he put me in with Ricky Steamboat. Ricky the Dragon
Steamboat.
Yeah. And the $500 he paid me cost me $1,500 to fix my mouth, and Ricky knocked my tooth out.
Oh, God.
But, listen, Ricky Steamboat knocked out my tooth.
You're happy. You're good.
Shit.
So you also, like, in the middle of... do we need to take a break?
Yeah, hold on. Let's take a
We don't have
break.
to take a break.
No? Skip it? Okay.
Keep going.
Well, let's get to this part, yeah.
Okay.
So, in the middle of your whole... it's fun talking about the back in the day and how you got to where you are and the history. You had a major health scare kind of in the middle of your career, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little
Sure.
bit? I mean, so I guess it was in 1998 you were diagnosed with testicular cancer and had to stop working.
Just a year fresh into ECW, doing well. I thought maybe the training regimen I was on was doing, because I lost like 40 pounds in like 2 weeks. I thought I was like, I was killing
Oh, you're
it.
like, I'm doing such
I'm
a good
killing
job.
it, bro. Hell yeah, I'm killing it. But then someone, one of the trainers over at ECW was like, listen, whatever you're on, stop the bullshit.
Right, something's wrong.
Listen, whatever you're taking, stop taking it. It's not right. I go, brother, and I swore on my daughter's life,
Wow.
I'm not taking anything. This is just me. And they sent me to the doctor, and they found a tumor. Yeah, they found a tumor on my right testicle, and it was so close to the carotid artery that they couldn't just go in and take it out.
Right.
So they had to shrink it first.
Oh, so you had to get like chemo or radiation?
Yep, had to take the radiation, and then of course after they take it out, you go through the chemo to make sure everything is all there. So thank God that they caught it in time. But where it was so close to the carotid. I mean, literally almost overlapping the carotid artery. And he said if it got any bigger, it would have shut my carotid artery off.
Wow.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, and I pray to the good Lord every day and say thank you. But yeah, they caught it in time. Again, thank the Lord. And within a year, feeling better, getting back better, Paul welcomed me back with open arms.
And you went back.
Oh hell yeah!
They just can't. It's like
He's not a quitter.
Oh,
no, but it's like what they say on The Godfather. Like because you stop and then you somehow get dragged back into it, right? I mean, what is it that keeps bringing you back to the ring?
You know, it's in my blood now. Then it was still in my blood. You know what I'm saying? But not a lot of people can say that they actually can climb into a ring in front of 1,000 people, 500 people, whatever it is. But that hype, how that feels. If I walk in the ring, I'm getting booed, doing my job. If I walk in the ring and they love me and they're clapping, I'm doing my job. I walk in the ring and everything's vanilla,
There's a problem.
there's a problem.
Right.
And there's never been one time, thank God, and trust me, I've made sure, and I've asked promoters, and I've never had a vanilla time, because I try to keep the crowd moving. Whether it's if I'm a baby face, I'll talk about their hockey team or whatever, get them all pumped up, and if I'm a heel, I'll tell them how bad their hockey team sucks and the Bruins beat them.
That's great.
Or the Red Sox kick the shit out of your baseball team, or the Celtics. So, talk about something. Anything Boston pisses people off.
Right.
Especially now.
Especially now.
So,
Exactly.
Before we wrap this up, a couple things I want to go definitely squeeze in here. First off, Dynamite Derek Dudes. How we get that name?
So I was in the ring with this other wrestler named Spike Dudley. Spike, probably a tad shorter than me, 156 pounds.
Oh,
if
wow.
lucky. Oh yeah. He became one of the Dudley clan. Well, him and I were in the ring one afternoon, and Big Sal was one of my trainers. Now, let me give you a quick rundown on Big Sal. Big Sal, 7'2", 620 pounds.
Oh, big guy.
Okay, just a small guy, you know.
Usually when I hear Big Sal, I'm looking for like a little guy
Yeah.
somewhere around the corner.
Oh no, Sal was over 7
He's like
feet, was over
literally a
600
big
pounds.
dude. Holy cow.
So
It's
we,
like Andre the Giant.
oh, he was just huge. So Spike and I are setting up this move, and Spike does this move called the acid drop. Pretty much, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin's stunner, but off the ropes.
Okay.
So Spike grabs me and says, "We're both the same height. Let's do this together." Sal will set us up. So we both grab him, run, spin, boom, hit the move. And the Dudley boys, Devon and Bubba Ray, like, holy shit. Can you guys do that again? Boom, set it up. Boom, boom, did it again. So out of nowhere, I hear Devon goes, "That was frickin' dynamite. Unbelievable." Because about 5 minutes before that, Bubba was like, "Your name sucks."
And what name were you going by then?
Just Derek Dukes.
Just Derek Dukes, normal name. Okay.
Your name sucks. your name really sucks. And how I got Dukes was, I always use my shoot name because in the real world. My real name is Derek Plord.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like my French last name. I'm Italian. I don't like that shit. So I like Dukes. So they were trying to think of a name for me, and they were like, "Okay, so what's your favorite TV show?" I go, "The Dukes of
Dukes
Hazzard."
Hazard.
Done. You're Derek Dukes. All right, I like that. DD, I'll take that. Okay. Go with ECW, working my thing. And I heard Bubba go, "What'd you say? That move wasn't Dynamite?" That's your new name.
Ha!
You're Dynamite Derek Dukes. But the guy who gave it to me, their finisher maneuver was called the Dudley Death Drop. They called it 3D. They were the Dudley boys. So, of course, I couldn't be 3D, but I was D to the third power. So I'm 3.
That's funny.
I'm triple D.
Triple D.
That's right.
All right. So you're into cigars. You're in the cigar community. How'd you get into cigars?
God rest his soul. My brother used to steal the little cigars off my grandfather's.
Really?
Yeah. And we'd go down the street. My brother was older than I was, so we'd be down the street with his friends and be on the corner smoking the cigar. And I'd always smoke the cigar and yak my fucking brains out. And they'd all laugh, "Ha ha! Do it again!" And and of course, getting older and learning how to smoke a cigar, and I was probably 7 or 8 years old. But I really remembered that, especially back then, back in those days in the 80s,
Right.
the cigars were totally it was just pure tobacco. There was no bullshit. There was
Right.
they were harsh.
Mm-hmm.
They were just harsh. But I remembered because it was the time I spent with my brother is why I enjoyed it so much. That was the
So that kind of
with
brings you back.
yeah. It always brings me back to my brother.
You have also, I don't know the story, but apparently Derek has a really, really great story with, was it Gold Dust we were talking about?
Are you sure?
We were mentioning a couple of guys, because I know a couple of guys in the industry, and he said that he has a really good gross story, but it's funny, right?
Oh my God, yeah. If you guys are ready, are you sure?
Sure.
I'll buckle up.
So you guys know who Gold Dust is?
No. Oh, Dusty Rhodes?
Dusty Rhodes' son, Dustin.
Okay.
He went by Gold Dust. Had this whole gold gimmick and this and that. Well, I worked when Dustin got released from the WWEF. He went over to work with a company called TNA, which is Total Nonstop Action, which is called Impact Wrestling out of Orlando. And him and I worked over there together. Well, we both left TNA, and we're doing indie shows together. So we're up north doing an indie show. We pick him up. I'm in the back seat. We pick him up at the airport, and he gets in the driver's side behind the driver. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, he opens the back of the seat, and there's a Playboy magazine there. I guess it was from the driver. He takes it out, he's going through it, we're talking, and this and that. So we get to the event. We pull up, and Dustin says, "Yeah, I'll grab my bag, I'll be there in a minute, guys." Yeah, we're probably taking this time, whatever. I get out, passenger side, 3 of us walk over. So we're sitting there talking for a second, I look over, and the fucking truck is going, just waving side to side. Like, what the everything, is Dustin still in there? Is everything alright? It stops. He gets out, comes around, goes to the back, gets his bag. "Dustin, are you okay? Was, everything going on in there? Everything alright?" "Well, I saw that magazine and, I had to take care of business."
What?
"What?" "Yeah, woo! It was a good magazine." Dustin, you shitting me? So, my sick mind, all I can think of is, where'd he finish?
Ew.
Dustin, we're friends. Dustin, buddy, I have to sit in that truck later. So, we're friends, but
Where is it?
where did you finish? He goes, oh, all over the fucking driver's seat. What? Oh, yeah, I just let go all over the driver's seat, put it back, and got out. Yeah, I found a different ride to the airport that day.
Wow.
I didn't get back in that truck.
And he was talking about what you thought he was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he
All right.
he put it all over the driver's seat.
Oh, all right. And who drove?
Whoever the promoter was at the time, and thank God he wasn't standing there, because I was like, yeah, I got things to do after, bro. You guys got that truck.
It's a
You got
different
that.
breed of folk in the wrestling world, I guess.
All right,
Oh,
real,
there is.
real quick before we head out now, some of your favorite cigars. Where's your home base out of?
As in,
Where do you live?
I live now in Fort Pierce.
Right, you're a Floridian.
Yes.
What's your where do you hang out? Where does Derek hang out to have his cigars?
I go to the Fort in Fort Pierce.
In case anybody wants to
Yeah.
meet Mr. Dukes.
Of course. I hang out a lot at the Fort in Fort Pierce, which is S&M Smoke Shop.
Yep.
I try to make it to your places as much as I can now down this way, because I heard that I didn't even know there's one in Vero Beach.
There's one in Vero and there's one in Port St. Lucie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Port St. Lucie one's kind of small. I like the lively ones. I like the one that you and I met at.
West Palm.
West Palm, that's a great one. I like that one. When I'm down the other side, though, I spend a lot of time at, like, a Fusion over in Clearwater. Oh, my God, that place is unbelievable. Or the Cave.
Oh, yeah, I know the cave.
That's another good
And some of your favorite cigars?
Definitely, I'm a Padron 26 guy.
Good stuff.
Anything Steve Saka makes. Anything at all.
Sakalicious.
Yes, you better believe it. Anything Steve Saka makes. The Umagog's one of my favorites. I always go to. The Lucien Compromiso number 7. That is unbelievable.
Good stuff.
Unbelievable smoke.
All right, some wrestling questions before we take this out. Ready?
Sure.
I had that.
All right, I got the show covered. Believe it or not. All right, so sit back, enjoy the show. So, ready?
I am.
The wrestler in your mind who did the most for wrestling.
If you're not talking about era, I would say Hulk Hogan.
Era specific?
When you go to late 80s, Hulk Hogan. Early 80s, Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
Better believe it.
Okay. Two great legends.
Yeah.
Best tag team wrestling team.
Holy shit.
Gotta pick one.
Damn it, I have to pick one.
All right, who's one of your favorites?
Will always be the Road Warriors.
You know, they graduated from my high school. They're alumnus from Notre Dame. Hawk and
Animal.
yeah.
Big Joe.
Yeah, they're on our Wall of Fame. The Road Warriors.
They would definitely have to be the Road Warriors. Greatest of all time would be the Road Warriors, but my favorite tag team would be Bubba Ray and Devon of the Dudley Boys.
Okay. The guys who helped give you
Better
name?
believe it.
Okay. Who's the most brutal? Not, I'm not saying you had to fight him, but story-wise, who did the most abuse?
Cactus Jack.
Wow, I don't even know Cactus Jack.
Trust me, if you Google Cactus Jack, you'll shut that shit off.
Well, wasn't Cactus Jack? Isn't that Mick Foley's
Mick Foley,
character?
Mankind, Dude Love, all that same. All that
Most overrated wrestler. Adam's over here just going, ooh, to all my questions.
He's tingling.
They're good questions.
That. Ooh, you got me stumped on that one.
Well, I mean, who out there got a lot of recognition? No real talent there, as far as your opinion.
Oh, The Rock.
Oh,
Really?
I was thinking The Rock.
Oh,
but
God, yeah.
Really?
That guy couldn't wrestle his way out of a wet paper bag.
Wow.
He was a showman. He was not a wrestler.
Made a good career.
Bet your ass he did.
The Rock. I didn't see that one coming.
Way overrated.
I've heard that before from other people.
Way overrated.
That they say that.
Most under the radar, underrated wrestler.
Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard.
From what era?
That is they went from the 80s all the way to the 90s. They were part
wow.
They were part of the Four Horsemen, the original.
Oh, the Four Horsemen. Yeah, I knew
Yes.
the Four Horsemen.
Yep.
Wow.
Definitely.
Well, listen, Derek, thank you so much for coming
This
on.
was awesome.
Super awesome. Super awesome.
Thank you for having
episode.
me, brother.
Man, we'll have you again. This was fun. After the break, we're going to take a short break, but we got Evan Darnell of the Red Meat Lovers Club, which
Nice.
is always a good thing. 'Cause that means we're going to be eating something good after the break. He's going to tell us what he's going on. And then we got Coop coming on because we're going to discuss some very interesting topics.
Oh, Coop is ready to go.
I love the Coop, man.
Of
He's
things
crazy.
that are going on. So
Absolutely
stay tuned.
crazy.
Don't go anywhere. We're taking a short break. Keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Experience the new Henry Clay Warhawk, a robust and complex cigar that's inspired by the rebellious roots of Henry Clay. The first of a 3-part series honoring the life of the great statesman, this cigar is made with the best tobaccos grown and hand-rolled by the Grupo de Maestros at La Flor de Copan in Honduras. And it's not your typical Connecticut. This is a Henry Clay. Stand up, be different, and smoke a Warhawk. Surgeon General warning, cigar smoking can cause cancer to the mouth and throat even if you do not inhale.
Hello, this is Glenn Case, owner of Christoph Cigars. There's nothing more important to me than family. That's why I treasure the moments with my wife Terry and our son Christopher, aka Christoph. When we have those rare moments to talk about life, there's nothing better than smoking Christoph to enhance our time together. For Terry, it's our Christoph Sweet Tip Cuban selection. For Chris, our Sumatra. And for me, our original Maduro. Enhance your family time with Christoph Cigars.
The Oliva family, the makers of some of the most affordable yet highest rated premium cigars available. For 7 straight years, Cigar Aficionado has rated Oliva as one of the best cigars of the year. And Oliva has a cigar for all smokers, from the newly released Gilberto Oliva Reserva to the bold and rich Oliva Serie V. Oliva cigars can be found at a tobacconist near you, so always ask for Oliva, an unbeatable value and uncompromising quality. The Oliva family of cigars.
The recently released Perdomo Double-Aged 12-Year Vintage is an extremely rare blend of Perdomo's finest and most cherished 12-year-old fillers, binders, and wrappers. Bale-aged for 10 years and then barrel-aged in bourbon barrels for an additional 2 years, these exquisite Nicaraguan tobaccos are bursting with rich, complex flavors. Offered in Connecticut, sun-grown, or Maduro, available at only 250 authorized tobacconists worldwide, the Perdomo Double-Aged 12-Year Vintage is a must-have for every cigar enthusiast.
Hey, this is Clay from La Polina Cigar Company. My likes and dislikes: long walks in the park, old school gangster films, wrestling grizzly bears with Abe. Dislikes: smelly feet, flight attendants with an attitude, and Friday afternoon traffic. What I know you will like is the La Polina family of fine cigars, such as Mr. Sam, Bronze Label, and our highly rated Classic Series. But let's not forget the limited edition Goldie. Quality forever. La Polina Cigars.
Plasencia Cigars has been one of the world's leading growers of first-class tobacco since 1865. Today, Nestor Plasencia Sr., together with the 5th generation of the Plasencia family, continue the legacy. With over 3,000 acres of quality tobacco fields, they are makers of quality cigars, including Alma Fuerte, ranked among the top 10 cigars in major publications. Find them in your local premium tobacconist stores around the country. Plasencia Cigars, perfected for more than 150 years. Yours to enjoy now.
Looking for something unique and awesome? Smoke Oscar Valderas cigars. 2012 Connecticut, 2012 Corojo, 2012 Maduro, the Oscar Habano, the Oscar Maduro, My Way, and our latest creation, Oscar Valderas Cicerone Edition. A great cigar that comes in 5 different collectible boxes with an amazing exclusive artwork. Remember, Oscar has something unique and awesome waiting for you. Ask for Oscar Cigars in your favorite cigar shop.
Keep the party going all week long at the world-famous Spearmint Rhino, West Palm Beach. Every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday, enjoy $3 premium drinks from the bar till midnight. Magnum Mondays means $100 magnums of Belvedere and Moët Brut until midnight. Get your thrills every $10 Tuesday with $10 dances all day and night. Ladies, don't miss Women Crush Wednesdays with half off your cover charge. No matter the time of day, it's always a good time at Spearmint Rhino, West Palm Beach.
Welcome back. You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to KMA Talk Radio, broadcasting live here in lovely West Palm Beach. I'm Adam K. the Brewmeister. With me, of course.
Abe doesn't care about having his headphones or his microphone on right now. He's got food.
No.
I have to camera this.
Yeah, can you?
I'm
You
going
can.
to use Adam's camera.
Yep.
'cause
Okay, that's fine.
No one cares to see Adam.
No, they don't.
I care.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. In a weird way. That's
When
what
you're
you
ready,
do. Yeah.
go ahead.
So, Evan Darnell, the Red Meat Lovers Club, is here as our
Wait, I need to get
second
different,
hour guest.
I need to get different camera angles. Hang on.
You guys
So-
installed that smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision.
So, give us a brief synopsis of what it is our listeners are looking at here.
So I made some Wagyu burgers. Those are 100% Wagyu, legit. Got it from Jimmy P's in Naples, Florida.
And you have it flown. It's flown in, right?
No, it's driven in.
Oh, it's driven in.
It's
okay.
not Naples, Italy.
Well, I don't know. I see these posts. No, I see these posts from him saying like, "Just flown in." We have
exactly. Well, I want to make it sound really fancy.
Dude, you can't sit this tray in front of me this whole show.
No, that's a tray. That's a great breakfast, Dave.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
And those are air baked tater tots, so they're on the
I
healthy.
love them.
Yeah,
that way.
yeah. Well, they're in the oven.
That sounds a little too healthy.
Well, I haven't installed the deep fryer yet into my house. My wife has not yet let me get that privilege.
Do you wait? So they're air baked or air fried?
Air baked.
What's the difference?
It's in the oven.
There's no frying.
There's no frying.
No,
Yeah,
I have
I
have an air fryer. There's no oil, so and
Right.
Then it's not fried.
Yeah,
yes, it
it's
is.
fried in
No,
quotes.
it's not.
It's in quotes, okay?
I bet those are crunchy as they would
Look at
be.
this.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta get in there.
The marbling's ridiculous on that steak.
So
And,
what is the steak?
It's a Wagyu number 7 Australia from Carrera Farms in Australia.
What is
Oh
the
my
What is the number 7? So
There's
there's a rating system, right?
Exactly. It's a level of marbling.
Okay.
And 7 on a strip steak is really, really high.
So Australian, does the Australian Wagyu get rated differently than the Japanese?
It does.
Because the Japanese is like an
Kobe,
A, B,
but Japanese
1,
would be
2.
Kobe, right?
Well, it's almost like Champagne is only from Champagne.
Right.
Yeah.
Kobe
Right.
is only from Kobe,
Right.
but there's like different, like outside of Kobe, there's different areas that are just
As good. Okay.
Yeah, especially now.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
Now,
it's
you've been
really
up to
good.
a lot since the last time you were here.
I've been up to a lot.
I mean, you are a masochist. Hands down.
I tend to be, but it's like I'm driven by a lot of different things that make me want to keep on doing what we do. So I have a lot of events coming up, and I have some really monstrous events. One is
Before you
with
get into events, I want to talk
Yeah.
about now. You have factions now.
I do. I
You
do.
have factions
Fat.
around the.
We should call it Fat Shuns. That's
That was
good.
one of my questions because
Yeah.
we had talked
Yeah.
about that over the last few times
Yeah.
that you've been here.
Where is now
Okay.
bases for the Red Meat Lovers Club guys group?
So we have official chapters in New York City, where we're
That's
doing.
the newest one,
That's
right?
right. We have Nashville, Tennessee. We did an amazing event in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So that's
With our man Randy Bush.
yeah, he's amazing,
He is
and I'm
awesome.
looking.
Oh, he's
forward.
watching right now.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Randy.
he's great, and I can't wait to work
Be
with
meeting him
those
for
guys.
the first
again.
time. He's coming down for the Great Smoke.
He's good.
Oh,
he's
nice.
a good guy.
In fact, he just posted his dinner ticket. Dinner
Oh,
ticket.
yeah.
Oh,
the,
good.
The pre-event dinner that the Red Meat Lovers Club is hosting
Yeah,
at the Great Smoke.
yeah, that's gonna be a really special night.
Epic proportions again. I guess, huh?
Well, yeah, we're creating just basically meat mountains.
Meat mountains. You like to use the word copious a lot.
Well, it's a good word for
It's
what we do.
It's a great word.
Because, like, normally at our dinners, when the dinners start, people are already full.
Yep.
It's truth.
It is.
If you don't pace your, because I've been to about over half a dozen of these
Yep.
dinners. If you don't pace yourself, because the pre-food is just so amazing.
Yeah.
And if you kind of let loose, forget about it. You're barely going to get to your entree.
Our caterer, Potions in Motion, with Sexy Chef and Jason, they match my vision with the food, and it's really it's one of the big reasons why we've been so successful.
I think they want to punish people.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
I
that.
mean, there is some gluttony going on.
Do you not
There is.
eat for the whole day if you're going to go to
Doesn't
one
make
of
a
these
difference.
events?
It doesn't, unless you're like a professional eater where you're stretching your stomach and what. It doesn't make a difference. You can not eat for the whole day. I mean,
Do you? Oh, dude, we killed him.
We'll-
Do you not
let's
consider
just
yourself
gay
a
about it.
professional eater?
no.
No, there's people. I work with this guy Nick Solaris in New York City.
You've mentioned
he's a
him, yeah.
He's a professional carnivore. Like he will literally eat way more than I do, but then he won't eat for 2 days.
That's
like
insane.
it's like he's scheduled it out.
Is he a thin guy?
He is.
Most
So
of-
he's
I got news
intermittent
for you.
fasting. Yeah.
I got news for you. Most of the real hardcore professional eaters are not big dudes.
Well, yeah,
No,
no,
they're
I know.
not.
Kobayashi, obviously.
big
He's a
dudes.
thin, slim Japanese guy.
So
Really-
you got 4 chapters now total?
Well,
Or 5 including
we have
Florida?
Toronto opening up January 23rd at STK. We're doing a big dinner there. And then we got Toronto. Sorry, I said that. And then we're going to be opening up Melbourne, Florida, which is not really South Florida. And then we're going to go. I see Charlotte, Dallas, Chicago, and LA being 2020 targets.
Really?
Yeah.
Chicago, my home base.
I know.
I got to go to
You got, I was just going to say, you got to go to the first
Yeah.
dinner there.
And you're going to all these dinners.
Right now, I'm going to all the dinners. My goal.
I was just going to say, well, how's your wife feel
I was
about
gonna
that?
say the exact same thing. How
Yeah,
does your
you know
wife feel
what?
about that?
Her tolerance level is high for me, and it's being stretched. Like this T-shirt, it is being stretched. But I think it's important for me to be there in the beginning of these chapters. The philanthropy side of it is so important to me right now. We have our biggest event coming up ever with Make-A-Wish Foundation, the Super Bowl, the official Super Bowl party of Make-A-Wish at Meats Bowl, MEATSBOWL. That's going to be at Quality Meats the Thursday before the Super Bowl, January 30th. And we're partnering with La Flor Dominicana. I saw a post.
I was talking with John.
Yeah.
Jonathan Carney.
We're going to bring out those football cigars.
I could see how Evan and Carney would get along.
Oh, well, Carney's Carney. He has to open up a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's a
He's got his Facebook posts are almost as intense as yours. As far as the meat.
we share passions. And that event's being headlined by Apple Insurance, which is our go-to amazing company that really
they've been doing a lot. They've done a lot with you.
They've done a lot with us, and really without our sponsors, you can find them all at our website, rmlclub.com. Partners in Prime. Without them, we're not a club. We can't do it. You know, the events are at best break even, but we are driven by the philanthropy. And since I saw you last, Dave, this is crazy to say. And we had the feature in Cigar Aficionado.
Yes.
We've raised over $300,000 for different charities in the last 18 months.
I wanted to bring that up. I mean, this is not just guys getting together.
Yeah,
and
no, it's
bonding
so
and
much
eating.
bigger than that.
Yeah, you guys are raising a lot of money for
Yeah.
charities. I mean, every function's tied to some charity.
Yeah, everyone's tied to something. So New York City is Madison Square Boys and Girls Club. The following week, we're doing Make-A-Wish up in Toronto, the Toronto chapter.
Wow.
And then we're doing Make-A-Wish again for the Super Bowl event. Those raises come from the generosity of our stakesmen, and we do that by live auction, silent, and raffle. So it usually is a great raise, and every penny we raise goes directly from you or any other guests directly to the charity.
Now, I just want to express to everybody who's listening how much of a real masochist you are, right? Because he's planning events nonstop. I mean, you got the Super Bowl event.
Right.
Then you have an event the night before the Great Smoke pre-event dinner.
Yeah. So, I mean...
And then you have the Great Smoke dinner the day after.
Oh, and then we're going to Tampa on the Wednesday.
That Wednesday after.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just abuse.
It's abuse, but look, we're doing this dinner on February 20th, RMLC4FORJordan.com. One of our stakesmen's sons is beyond sick, and they have to raise a ton of money for to help discover a cure, not fund or get the cure. They have to create it. Wow. So that is behind your store. And
at the Museum 66.
At the Museum 66.
One of the coolest car garages, man cave, pinball haven place you could go. Did you go over to there?
I didn't, but I've heard about it.
I've done 2 events with Evan and me. I've been there. It's just what a cool spot.
Yeah, so we're going to go there. We may be crashing whatever Great Smoke party you're doing that night afterwards.
Who we got that night? That's Friday.
That's Thursday night.
Thursday they'll be in West Palm.
Oh,
so it's a little bit of a drive. But look, a lot of people fly in.
Yeah.
So there'll be a lot of people at both those locations.
Absolutely.
They'll be packed. So we got a lot of good things going on preemptively now for the Great Smoke.
And
so.
I'll tell you, out of any event I've ever done, I have more stuff to raise money for this Jordan Ogman. So I think that raise is going to be off the charts. I even hired a professional auctioneer. Normally, I'm the one that does it.
You do.
Yeah, and the only reason why I'm really throwing these events is just so I can hold a microphone. I feel very comfortable. I feel very comfortable with a mic in my hand, but I got a professional auctioneer. I hired a Sinatra singer. So it's going to be just a really cool
Is it
vibe.
going to be like a Sotheby's style auction or like a country farm kind of auction?
I'm only into country farm.
That's what I'm hoping.
I may auction off one of that guy's cars without him knowing.
Right?
Oh, if you get enough money for it, he won't care.
Exactly.
And when we talk about a museum, this guy actually has like one of one cars.
One of one cars.
One of one made.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
And he's letting a bunch of guys in there have a dinner, like where these cars are just like.
I've seen the pictures.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It really is. It's a special spot, and so yes, we are going to Tampa, and then I'll release the details. But the event that we did in Nashville with my new best friend Luke Bryan, who was there,
Yes.
as you saw. We're gonna go
my
back,
wife
and
is
we're
gonna
gonna
be
do
so
a
jealous.
we're gonna do an event again with them at his steakhouse in April. So that's going to be coming up as well. We're going back to Nashville, and I hope to layer on. But we're going to do Melbourne in March. Then I got to do something else again in April down here.
Look at him. He's just saying true masochist.
Well, I think I can see it being every Thursday, us doing a big event. I can't be at all of them, but there's a chance that if I got all those air miles, maybe I can turn them in to some sort of luxurious vacation for just my wife. She'll go away just on her own.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Monday. But yeah, there's a lot of events, but there's a lot of goodness. It's hard not to
be involved
in it.
When you can do it and do things that are good for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
So just so our listeners know, right? Anybody who's like bonding with this moment, looking at this mountain of meat that I'm going to start like cutting up and
Yeah, what's up with the burgers?
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna
wondering.
start
I've been wondering
slicing.
about that for like a couple minutes.
Right, as soon as we take a break, coming up in a few seconds, we're going to start slicing. But if you're bonding, you can be part of this as a social club, even if there's not a chapter anywhere near you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You got a Facebook group.
We have a Facebook group, and I brought in a couple tickets, if that's okay.
What have you done?
So I'm going to do a contest, and I've never done, I don't think, a contest this cool before. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask people to go to the closed group of the Red Meat Lovers Club.
There's an open group?
There's an open group, but I really don't
confuse everybody.
I know. And you know what? I did that, and then I regretted it. But then it was before I had 600 members in like 3 weeks before the regret started happening.
Right?
So, people who asked to join today at the Red Meat Lovers Club cost nothing. I'm going to get them a couple tickets to the Super Bowl event that we're having in our.
Hold on. You gotta be clear about this now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody who joins today.
Yeah. I'm just gonna randomly pick someone.
Okay,
All right.
so there's going to be winners.
Not
based
every
on who
single
joins.
person.
Yeah.
So
I didn't rent the football field.
Right.
I was going to say.
Anybody
Yep.
who goes to the closed group,
Yep.
Red Meat Lovers Club today, whether you're local or if you're even out of town and coming into the Super Bowl, doesn't
Yep.
matter. If you sign up today, he's going to
Yeah.
look at all the people who requested to join today, and you're going to randomly give away a couple tickets to
Yeah.
your pre-Super Bowl event.
To the January 30th
Nice.
meatbowl.com.
There you have it.
And if I pick them and they're not in the area, I brought in that spatula, the Red Meat Lovers Club spatula, and then I brought in a T-shirt so they can have something if they're saying, well, I can't fly in for the Super Bowl event, but I won, so I'm going to leave that here.
I'm just going to sit with this.
Abe's
like, right
going
here.
to cover the shipping. Thank you.
Yes, I got it covered. No problem. All right, so listen.
Yeah.
Once again, dude,
Adam,
I
you
love
got that?
bro.
I love you
Thank
too.
you for coming in. Always
You're
doing
welcome.
great work. Always feeding us, and a little excited, actually very excited, and a little bit scared of the upcoming Great Smoke dinner. 'Cause-
There's going to be a lot to it.
Yes.
And
but-
I want to thank you also for for partnering with us again on the cigar of the Red Meat Lovers Club
One of my
cigar.
favorites. I mean, I got to get a signed $5 bill from you.
And that's why I brought it up.
You got to find a Sharpie.
That's why I brought it up.
Can you talk about what the...
Yeah, I mean, look, because it came out on social media, so it's not a secret. So, we ran out pretty fast last time.
Yeah, I remember.
It was a little over a month. It didn't last. And always, historically, when I've done these microblend projects, there's two different philosophies, right? Like, we do a lot of projects with the fine folks over at the dojo, right?
Yeah.
And he's found his sweet spot number. He wants to do a project where literally, like, in 2 hours, they're gone, right? And that's it. But see,
dojo?
The dojo guys. But I'm a brick and mortar retailer, right?
Yeah.
So I like to have them last a couple of months.
Because if somebody hears about it, yeah.
What happens is all these posts come up. People say, "Oh, what's this great cigar everybody's talking about?"
I don't have
look
any.
for it. It's gone, right? So last year went too fast, and some people thought it lasted long because Steve Socket asked me to stash away 50 so that he would have some for the Great Smoke when he came in February. But they didn't last that long. We had hidden those and then bought them out for the Great Smoke.
Right. I do remember that.
So this year, my intention was I was going to double the run, right? And they're almost gone. I think we're down to our last maybe 100 or whatever. But we doubled the run.
I should probably get one of those.
So we doubled the run, and I love my man. This guy's super passionate. You got to be super passionate to do stuff that Evan does. So he thought we'd sell out in 2 weeks. I'm like, it's not gonna happen.
So you made a bet with him?
I made a bet.
Wait, it's not going to happen in 2 weeks. I said, believe me, I've been doing this 20-some years.
I thought it'd be 20 minutes.
Yeah, he really did. And then I gave him a month. And I told him at the end of the month, we'll probably sell out the 500-600 tops.
Yeah.
And the rest will trickle through for the next 36 days, which is my intent.
Which is what you want. That's what you want anyway.
And that's pretty much exactly where we landed.
Yeah.
So
I've learned.
Well, at least it was only $5.
If there's a tobacco bet, there's a good chance Abe knows more than I do about it. Which is
you just smoke the stuff.
But wait, I told him that. I said, look, man, if I'm looking to find the best steaks or how to cook, you're the guy I'm calling.
Yeah.
I told him, don't bet me on this. I've been in retail 20-some years.
He tried to stop you. He gave you an out.
I did try to stop him. I literally did, but he was. But you know what? Those are my favorite kind of bets to lose.
Yeah.
So
mine too.
I'm on advantage. I win either way.
Right, that would be awesome.
I win either way. So.
But I had the cigar, obviously, again, and I got a lot of them. They are so good.
They are really good.
And I'm so proud of that project because anyone I've ever met who I trust loves that cigar.
It's a great cigar.
You talk about value, you can get a great $30 cigar. You can get a really good $20 cigar. That cigar was $11.95. That pleasure you get out of that hour, I'll match it.
I agree.
Give me any cigar, anyone. I absolutely adore it, and I love the packaging.
The packaging's great.
Yep.
I really do.
The butcher is it actual butcher paper?
Real butcher paper.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's Saka.
Saka had it at his house.
Sakalicious. Steve probably went and litmus tested like butcher paper to see which would be the best quality
and
most
consistent.
How we've aged the butcher paper as well with the cigars.
We've barrel aged the butcher paper. Yes, yes.
You won't taste the nuances, but I know that bourbon barrel will come out if you write a story poem on the butcher paper.
Well, the Secretary of State himself, Evan Darnell.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming
I
on.
love being here.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Keep recruiting men to our cause here because it's awesome.
Yep.
And after the break, we got William Cooper, and we're going to discuss some awesome and not so awesome stuff going on in our industry.
And follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Red Meat Lovers Club.
That's it. Keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Dan Blunt here for Alec Bradley Cigars. You ever plunk down hard-earned cash for a cigar? You're hoping you just bought yourself a nice drive-through taste town. Only to discover you're in the slow lane with a clunker. That sucks. Say goodbye to bad rides. Test drive an Alec Bradley cigar today. At Alec Bradley, they get it. Whether we're talking about life or cigars, it's all about the ride.
Fuel your soul and experience inspiration with the Aging Room Quattro series by Rafael Nadal. More than just a master blender, but the inspired composer of 4 boutique masterpieces for the sophisticated palate of an aficionado. The Aging Room Quattro series are a perfect chord of flavor and aroma, and are born from the best tobaccos, aged under the expertise of one of the greatest names in cigar making. Truly the perfect notes for a genuine cigar smoking experience. Aging Room Quattro series, a quartet of excellence.
Hoya de Nicaragua proudly announces the release of Cuatro Cinco Reserva Especial, a carefully modified recipe containing a unique and exceptional selection of barrel-aged grade A fillers and a beautiful silky shade-grown Habano wrapper. From the legendary Jalapa Valley, produced in small quantities, this exceptional medium to full-bodied cigar will continue to captivate consumers with its rich Nicaraguan complexity, subtle woody and sweet flavors, and a velvety finish. Try Cuatro Cinco Reserva Especial today.
CLE Cigar Company presents CLE Cigars, Aroa Cigars, and Asylum Cigars. With 4 generations and over 120 years of experience in tobacco. From seed to smoke, these cigars are produced in Honduras and Nicaragua, with the utmost care and precision possible. CLE Cigar Company introduces a vast array of tobaccos in various sizes to bring the highest quality of premium tobacco direct for your enjoyment. Visit clecigars.com for more information.
Since their humble beginnings in 1998, Drew Estate has believed that the production floor is the crossroads between art and passion, and where the real magic takes place. Drew Estate Master Blender Willie Herrera has crafted a unique medium-bodied line extension that is creamy, lush, and ultra-smooth, and finished off with a flawless shade wrapper that delivers satisfaction in spades. Continuing the story from their factory floor, it is with great bravado that the Drew Estate presents Under Crown Shade, a true Drew experience.
A Toscano cigar is the perfect combination of American and Italian craftsmanship. Made with American and Italian dark-fired cured tobacco, Toscano cigars are produced by hand by the cigar rollers of Lucca, Italy. Smoking a Toscano helps you escape from the real world for those few perfect minutes, like when you're sitting at home on a terrace after a long day's work, pondering life and how beautiful things are. A Toscano cigar can take you back through over 200 years of history and elegance. There's only one Toscano. Available worldwide, Toscano is now available at your local premium cigar retailer.
The Oliva family, the makers of some of the most affordable yet highest rated premium cigars available. For 7 straight years, Cigar Aficionado has rated Oliva as one of the best cigars of the year. And Oliva has a cigar for all smokers, from the newly released Gilberto Oliva Reserva to the bold and rich Oliva Serie V. Oliva cigars can be found at a tobacconist near you, so always ask for Oliva, an unbeatable value and uncompromising quality. The Oliva family of cigars.
Ventura Cigar Company is a boutique cigar brand born in sunny Southern California. Ventura Cigar Company is on a mission to create memorable, complex cigar blends that excite the senses and reward discriminating palates. Experience the Cigar Aficionado number 13 Cigar of the Year, the archetype Axis Mundi. Rise up, step up, look up, fire up, and leave compromise behind with Ventura Cigar Company. Check them out online at venturacigar.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.
Welcome back to KMA Talk Radio. I am Adam K. the Brewmeister. Sorry, I'm still trying to chew from this delicious burger I was just enjoying. Courtesy of Evan Darnell and the Red Meat Lovers Club. Make sure you check out the redmeatloversclub.com. And the Facebook group. If you go and join the Facebook group, you can also then
I can't see you if you're
the
standing
show's
up.
out of control.
Sorry. We have a shot of your crowd.
I had to move my chair so we could get out.
We got cutting up food.
Oh my god, that food is so good.
I'm stuffed.
I'm not.
Man, I usually don't eat tater tots, but man,
cut that half in half and we can share that.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Derek and I will share it. Thanks.
Oh.
You like that move?
Story of my life.
Oh yeah.
Get the steak. Don't eat the potato. Take that meat, you ballish.
The potatoes are good too, though.
Take the meat. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ballish wonder.
Are you a vegan now, AJ?
Hell no.
So anyway,
I'm just making sure.
There's 3 pieces. First come, first serve. All right.
I'm trying to talk. Yeah,
I got the meat sweats right now.
Just so people who don't know, though most people do know because I post on social media. I got this wad of money that I've collected over the years. And what was really nice is the night we went out to dinner with Jeff Groover, we ran into a guy who I hadn't seen in 10 years who lost the biggest bill ever to me, a $50 bill.
The $50 one?
Yes.
I've seen that
Danny
one.
Winters, great guy. But I have this thing because, you know, as competitive men do, when we think we're right, we always say to our friend, you want to bet? You want to bet? You want to bet?
You just say, I want to bet. You want to bet to everything.
No, we did this growing up as friends. Do you want to bet? You want to bet? I'll bet you $10. We do that. And the $10 or the $5 or whatever it is, it's meaningless, right? So I started this thing where it'd be like nominal bills, though there is a 50 and some 20s, but mostly they're 5s or singles or 10s.
And now a 10.
Now a 10. I got a few 10s in there. But I make them sign it. You were right. I was wrong. And I keep it. So
Did Evan sign it that way?
He signed, well, I don't know what
No,
he
he
wrote.
did not.
He wrote, I love RMLC and Abe we trust. I lost the secretary. Here's the bill.
I'm all right with that.
Here's the bill. And I got a feeling I'm going to have another fresh. This is the first one from Evan. Because I
He's
have
got
multiples.
another bet with you?
I got multiples. No, I got guys who've lost 3, 4, 5, 6
Yeah,
times.
oh yeah.
But I love the fresh meat ones. And I got a bet with Jonathan Carney. And I have a feeling that that's going to be another smooth $5 bill in my collection.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's got to be probably, I don't know, what, 150 bills?
Oh, at least
150 plus bills
It's
in
a
there.
it's a solid stack.
Yeah, it's solid.
It's a solid stack.
All right, so we got Coop on the phone?
Is he on the phone?
Yeah, he's here.
All right, we got stuff to talk about today.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music? The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
Wait, hold on. What is this you're bringing me?
I made a burger sauce.
Dude!
We ate the burger already.
And now you're giving us the sauce?
And I made it also with
Really?
Oh.
Now you got to go bring another tray so we can have the sauce.
Somebody throw some more tater tots
End of the credits, and then another movie pops on that you like kind of wait for it.
Listen, we'll be here for a little bit. You can bring a couple more burgers.
This guy's nuts. Coop, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I didn't want to interrupt you guys' lunch there. I mean,
Dude, there's times where you really want to be in studio. Today's one of those days.
yeah, I can tell. But I did a cholesterol nightmare over the last few weeks. So
Dude, I literally asked you on social media what your cholesterol level. I mean, I've never seen anybody eat so unhealthy.
it was when you're up in New York, you're gonna eat unhealthy. There's no way around it.
All right, come on, Coop. Let's be real. I see you eating healthy all year long, everywhere you go.
That's true.
Lobster
Yes, that's
rolls,
true.
pizza. I mean, come
I
on,
was telling you, when I had a
Burgers.
health scare and I was eating healthy, it didn't do me any good. So what's the point of eating healthy?
That's because
you know?
you were obviously sick before that, so it couldn't bring you back, Coop.
So a lot going on. We had a 3-week hiatus, which sucked.
Yes, yeah.
You announced your top 25 of the year.
Yep.
All right. So did you get to number 1 yet? Did you do the whole thing?
The number one, yes, I got the number one.
Why
It
don't
was
you
announced
give us a
Monday.
little
It was a surprise pick. It was a pick, probably a cigar people haven't heard of, and I went a lot more on merit. It was a cigar called the Saga Short Tails Tomo Number 6, a San Andres Maduro from the Reyes family in the Dominican Republic.
Really? That is a little surprise.
Yeah, it was. It really was the best performing cigar in my mind. And, Abe, I can get into this a lot. I think a lot of these lists have become very cookie cutter, very predictable over the last few years. And it's the same brands getting on there. I'm not saying they're not great cigars, but a lot of the reviewers I don't think are expanding their horizons in terms of what they're smoking throughout the year. So it's the same cigars, same brands getting rated all the time. So I've tried to go a little wider this year. And this year happened to just be an unknown that got it.
I think you're absolutely right. I think what happens is no one really wants to say this is my favorite cigar, and then nobody's heard of it or knows what it is. They don't want to lose that credibility or feel like they're going to lose some credibility because I just named a cigar that really nobody really knows what it is, or it's not that popular, right? Or it's got a super small following. There's a little safety into picking a cigar that everybody's talking about on some level, or is really well known or very popular. Or even if you haven't smoked it, you've seen it everywhere, you know?
So wait, just for our listeners' sake, because if I didn't catch it, they may not have caught it.
I never even heard of it.
I had not heard of it.
Who is the maker and what is the cigar?
The Reyes family.
Okay.
So it's the Reyes family out of the Dominican Republic. They've been around a long time. They've been growers.
Yeah.
So, chances are if you're smoking a cigar, if you smoke Dominican cigars over the years, chances are there's a company that sourced the tobacco from them.
Okay.
And they've had a brand for about 5 or 6 years right now. Like I said, they haven't had the footprint. And normally I do look for a bigger footprint for a cigar of the year. This was a weird year with cigars. I just thought it was a down year in terms of what was released. And everything just kind of came out weird. It may have been a good year sales-wise, but I'm just saying what was released quality-wise was not as good as what we've seen in previous years.
Paul, dude, stop looking at the food. You've already unbuttoned your pants.
I didn't unbutton my pants.
You're sitting there like Al Bundy with your hand down your pants.
My hand's not down my pants.
Stop looking at the food.
It's just the food is so good, and he just took it away.
I just had him remove the 10 tater tots that were left.
I know, but
80-pound block that was in front of my face for the last 30 minutes.
I could have eaten those with the sauce. So Saga is the brand, right, Coop? That's what I was just looking at.
Saga is the brand.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, listen, it'll be good for them. A lot of your readers will try it.
What else? Give us your top 10, Coop.
The number 2 was the Christoph Vengeance. I think people have heard of that cigar. That. By the way, I use a 2-year window for releases. So some may say it's a 2018 release, but it's just hard to get to everything in 1 year right now. So the Christoph Vengeance was number 2. Number 3 was the Alec Bradley Project 40. Number 4 was Jerry Tobacco's Aladino Corojo Reserva Toro. Number 5 was Riste's Jasam Cole Tyrannical Buck Maduro.
Your pronunciation there was not stellar, but go ahead.
JSK. It's called JSK.
Number 6 was also another cigar by Jerry Tobacco. It was the Aladino Maduro Corona. 7 was the Espinosa Laranja Reserva Escuro.
Yeah, I like that cigar.
It's a great cigar.
I like that cigar. Yep. Number 8 was the David PLM by Mike Bellady. Number 9 was Aganorsa Leaf Signature Maduro Robusto. And number 10 was the Crux Epicure Short Salomon.
Interesting list.
It was a little more boutique-y than I would have liked it this year, too.
Interesting list.
I kind of like a balance normally. It came out a little more slanted boutique-y this year.
What's wrong
Not
with
on
boutique-y?
purpose, but
You complained before about boutique-y. What's wrong with that?
I think big has become bad, unfortunately, and no, but seriously, I think there's a lot of good cigars made by these big companies that get lost because I think a lot of people get caught up in the romanticism of the boutique cigars. Nothing wrong with that, but I like a balance. I really like to have a balance. I don't play one side or the other side.
Ergo, you have a collaboration then with a small.
It all comes back full circle.
It all comes back. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about, Coop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going. I don't want to feel like I'm using you as a punching bag this afternoon. So
I'm sure you will, but that's okay.
At least you know.
I'll let you start in which topic you'd like to address first.
Oh, what a gentleman.
Let's get because you already talked about it at the beginning of the show. Let's get a little bit about the announcement yesterday. And Abe, I don't think you're going to punch me on this one. I think you and I are on the same page as far as these big four pulling out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us what your read is.
Well, this was no surprise, first of all. And the reason why it was no surprise is we started hearing at the trade show that the bigger... Normally what happens is that the 2019 trade show, they start reserving booth space for 2020.
Not just reserving, they start leaving a deposit. They start leaving cash money.
They start leaving deposits, right? We started hearing right then and there that wasn't happening. We were hearing that at the trade show. Yeah. After the trade show, that it didn't happen. Then I started hearing from some of the smaller companies saying, hey, they haven't put their deposits down because they're waiting to see what these bigger companies were doing. So there was eventually going to be a point where they were going to have to make a decision. Either they're going to have to put the deposits down or not go. And that's what we heard yesterday. So the ship sailed, I think, for 2020. These companies are not going to be at the trade show this year. Can they get them back for 2021? I don't know. I mean, I do feel we need these companies. One of the media guys used a great analogy. His name's, he used them saying that if you look at a mall, the mall has like what they call anchor stores.
Right.
Picture a mall losing all 4 of its anchor stores. And that's essentially what happened at our trade show here. It's not a good sign for the mall.
Well, I mean,
as a whole.
It's not a good sign for the mall as it currently exists. Okay, there are malls without anchors, but that's what I talked about earlier in the show. A pivot has to be made here, whether it's a pivot to get these guys back or a pivot to move forward without their existence. A pivot's got to be made. Whether they're up for that kind of a challenge, I have no idea. I think it's a sad testament to one of the oldest organizations in our industry. I think it's almost 85, 86, 87 years old. And it's mind-blowing that it's gotten to this point. And, where it goes from here is going to be interesting to see. I mean, there's definitely things that they have to address. Will they address it? I don't know, Coop. I really don't know. I mean, I think in hindsight, when all's said and done, if this unravels and the trade show as we know it dissipates, right? Either doesn't exist, evolves into some other kind of show, gets absorbed in the TPE and the PAC become one show. PCA. No matter what happens, I think historically we'll look back, and I think you can pinpoint this to one single action that ultimately started the landslide.
What would that action be? Do you think it was?
That would be undoubtedly CigarCon.
It was the catalyst. And what happened is, I agree with you on that, because right then and there, it gave leverage to these companies. That happened last year.
That's exactly what it did. Because this was talked about for years. I mean, the threats of leaving the show, starting our own show, it's been going on for over a decade, right? And no one wanted to be the guy to pull the trigger, right? No one really wanted to be the guy to pull the trigger. Sorry, I think a lot of it was just threats in hopes that they would change or fix things. And I think when they made a very bad judgment call, let's announce this big thing like it was big news, and didn't really vet what the feeling was going to be and how it was going to be taken, and just made assumptions that were completely wrong. And they made this big press release and all this thing, and this is what we're going to do. And then when the backlash came out, it gave them a reason to finally say, hey, look, this is stupid. We already get abused. We already, donate, sponsor so much money. We're the biggest one. And now they want us to give out more free cigars and extra day pay and setting people. I think it just pushed them over the edge. And they used the not paying a deposit as a leverage, and then realized, hey, look, we didn't pay a deposit. If we're ever going to do this, this is the year. And I think that's what happened.
You totally nailed it. I mean, that's exactly how I read it too. There's, that's what happens in these types of things too. There's another irony though of this whole thing is that we've heard for years that the criticism of the trade show deals being offered, outside the trade show, and these four companies were probably all doing that. I mean, it's safe to say they were all doing it.
Probably.
No. Let me correct you. They weren't probably doing it. They're the people that started doing it. They started doing it.
Yeah, they started it.
Yeah, you don't need to come, I got you.
They were the creators of let's get all our reps to hit the floor in the country because we have more reach than all these other companies, and let's get them to hit these retailers and get their money before they get to the show. They instigated it.
That way we can party at the show and not worry so much about how many sales we make.
Well, they want to tie up as many of the dollars, budget dollars, as they
No,
can
of
before
course.
people went to the trade show.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but
and then
all of it was something that was adding and creating the future problem that they all end up complaining about. So they actually instigated their own issues. Now, the PCA, RTDA, IPCPR, whatever you want to call it, in my opinion, is at fault of not finding a way to control it, react to it, work around it, address it, make ancillary real reasons to want to come to a trade show every year. They just didn't really work on it and just figured
people will just come no
matter
what. They have to come. It's 85
it's the trade
years.
Show, yeah. That's the mistake that happens.
Totally, because you saw it last year when they said, okay, we can have a trade show 4th of July week, and it's going to work, right? And what happened? That backfired miserably on them. They didn't realize that was going to happen.
How long have you been going?
No matter what.
How long have you been going to the trade show, Coop?
I've been going since 2010.
Were you going as media then, or were you there as a customer of somebody, like they say they don't have on the floor?
The first year I was actually working with a retailer doing business development.
Okay.
All the other 9 years were media. Yeah.
Okay.
I mentioned this in my post. It wasn't that long ago where the trade show was just literally a hotel room floor.
And you said where the doors were open and people would go in and out of rooms,
just wander up and down the hallway, going room to room where the manufacturer, and then it became this epic organization that getting dismantled now. It's an utter tragedy. Now, I've reached out to a lot of people. Listen, it's really funny because 3 of the big 4 that pulled out have already reached out to me to see. They were concerned to see if I'm going to be upset because some retailers have already made the decision. Well, if you're not part of the
I'm not going to carry you.
I'm not going to carry your brands.
Really?
Well, I think it's idiotic.
Yes.
Any retailer, I don't care. Because I can't remember who said it.
At the end of the day, you're hurting your own business.
You're hurting your own business. You're hurting your clients.
Yep.
Your clients ain't going to care whether these brands are at the PCR and the 5 or 10 they're on Facebook shouting, whatever. It could affect your business.
Right. The average cigar smoker doesn't.
I want to see a brick and mortar who's going to survive not carrying anything from General, Davidoff, Drew Estate, and Altadis.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I want to see you're going to be serving pizzas and burgers to compensate for your loss of revenue.
Get you an application from McDonald's.
You might as well put the Slurpee machine in now. So
never worked.
Oh, I love Slurpees.
Yeah, I mean, look, you just can't make that kind of a statement. It's just, reactionary and really not really thought out, But they've all reached out to me to see how upset I'd be about it. Like as if I would have any bitter feelings toward them, which I don't. Because at the end of the day, a business has to do what's best for its business to thrive.
This is a business.
This wasn't an emotional, we want to punish you. These guys have been begging the trade show organization to make changes for a decade plus.
Work, staffing, setup.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, they've been asking to make changes. Do you know, and this was during my era, right? Now, I just want you to picture this. For years, they fought just to have representation on the board. No manufacturers. Now, imagine, this show revolves around them.
Right.
None of them had, I think my inaugural year was like the first year they allowed somebody
from the group.
I forget what they call it. It's a position where it's the guy who represents the manufacturers on the floor.
A manufacturer liaison.
No, I forget what it is, but he's actually a board member that's not a retailer, right? So, and that was like such an... Why? Why wouldn't you want their input? You know what I mean? Right. I just never understood the philosophy and the principles, even the 3 years I was on the board myself. It just seemed so ass backwards. It didn't make sense to me. So,
because it's the way it always was. You find that in a lot of industries.
Listen, they have to do what they feel is best. And look, it's no secret. Everybody talks about financially, a trade show doesn't really make a lot of sense for a lot of people, right? And guys have now. Pete Johnson made a post yesterday. Did you read it, Coop?
Yes. And he showed his support. He's going to the trade show.
He made an outward post. We're going to support it. We're going and sing, and it's an organization we believe in. And we're going to continue to lobby. And I actually reached out to him to see if he would call in today just to discuss it. Everybody's actually in Nicaragua and getting on a plane.
We were actually trying to get him to come on one of these 2 weeks here anyway, which would have been perfect.
Eventually, some decade, we'll get him on.
He's always out of the country.
Listen, you know how you get Pete Johnson on our show?
Sell product?
No, just tell him. Just have Will Cooper invite him. Tell him he's doing a show here in Florida. And we just bait and switch him. He likes to do everybody's show. He likes to do everybody's show but ours.
Coop, get him to come on next week.
Yeah, Coop, work your magic. So, well, he'll be here for the Great Smoke because we
won't be doing a show live.
No, but the guys who'll come in to dinner will be the first guys in the country to get the new Anarchy Chaos, the third variation of the Anarchy series cigars.
Cool.
So, and then I think the full line will be released in March after the Great Smoke. But Pete's already come out, and look, here's the problem. I see already a lot of mid-level guys who say, well, God, if these guys ain't going, what's the attendance going to be this year?
That's
right?
a scary thought.
And I think some of them are going to say, hey, I know I gave a $10,000 deposit, but it's going to cost me another $80,000 to go.
And we're going to lose.
I'm just going to eat my 10.
They do it.
I think
they already were going to have a bad weekend in Vegas, and that's what the $10,000 was, as you like to say.
Exactly.
Write it off.
Right?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
That's probably what half the amount that Eric Espinosa would have lost.
Exactly.
So if Eric doesn't go, he can just say, I just saved $10,000. I'm out. Good.
Yeah.
Right? So, sorry, Eric.
But, so, Coop, I have to ask, a lot of other guys have come out. Are you keeping a tally now of anyone who's come out and said they are not going?
That's a great question.
Do you have a number yet? Because I know yesterday you had put that Scott Weeks came out and said he wasn't going to go.
Scott Weeks has been talking about not going for at least 5
he
or
didn't
6
go.
years.
He did not go
he
1
skipped
year.
1 year.
He
That's
skipped
right.
1 year.
Yeah.
He was there last year. He said he wasn't going. Mike Bellotti said he wasn't going. There's a bunch of companies that are right now not sure.
So
there
what
are
about
some companies that are making some.
I see the protocol guys not going. I see.
What about the Caldwell guy? What about Caldwell? Are they going?
He may not. Look, it depends.
I don't have any insight into what Caldwell's doing. I know the protocol guys are tied to Espinoza, and I don't think Espinoza's made a final decision yet. My gut tells me Eric will go.
Eric will go because here's
that's Eric.
Here's going to be the defining moment, right? If you're a romanticist, which a lot of guys in this industry are, right? They believe in the history and the romance and whatever. They're going to go no matter what, whether it's financially sound, whether it's smart. They're going to go because they're compelled because they feel that that's what's supposed to be done at this time. It's the trade show. How can you not be the trade show? I think the companies that are more fiscally run actually look at numbers and not worry about perception or image and what it stands for. They're going to have a harder time making that decision to go.
Yes, they definitely are.
Coop, are you familiar with what the Boutique Cigar Association said about this? One of our listeners is asking how we feel about it. I'm looking for it now.
I was a little disappointed in their response because they were kind of I think they kind of called out saying how they would how they support everybody, right? When the Boutique Cigar Association I think really has their own agenda, which is the smaller companies. I would have called for unity if I was the Boutique Cigar Association. Like I said, they came out in support of PCA and CRA, and they really called out, these four companies for being the four companies that are trying to block an exemption for regulation. And I'm like, I don't think we need to go down that road right now. I really think this is about kind of trying to fix the trade show, and that's another issue right now. Entirely, because all these companies sell cigars. So I was disappointed with their reaction.
Yeah, I don't think this decision was sidewinding, politically motivated at all. I think this is just straight up decision that they feel abused. They feel like they've been abused for a while. They feel
money.
like
It's money.
They feel like they feel like they carry the weight. And listen, let's face it, they do bring a lot of people to the show. They probably create the most revenue for the show, and a lot of the mid and low level guys get the benefit of that. And then when they need more money or they want to find a way to listen, look, the thing of CigarCon, right? Whatever, 300, 600, 800, but whatever. And you only got 20 cigars, right? Who do you think was going to give out the 20 cigars?
Right.
It was going to be Drew Estate.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So here we are. Now we're getting abused again. We're getting abused more. So, it's sad. But like I said, I believe everything is salvageable with the right plan. I think if they pivot, make the right decisions, they could turn it around. I just don't know if anybody's that dedicated to it as a full-time thing to turn it around, right? Turning around something like this is not like, you're in a little Fiat making a U-turn. You're in a,
No. Why are you looking at me? I don't drive a Fiat. I would, but
exactly. You just
exactly
right.
A fine Italian automobile.
But like an 80-ton trailer hitch and doing 90 miles an hour down a highway and then trying not to jackknife it turning around. It's going to be a big to do.
I want to correct the number just quick before you, because I stated something incorrectly or I read it incorrectly from another source.
Uh-huh.
It's incorrect on another source, and Coop, it was not yours that I got it from. I said it was. The PCA officially said that all four of the big companies take up 12% of the showroom floor, not 18 or 20% like we had previously talked about.
I think
No way.
Maybe they're.
It's a little bit more than that.
Yeah, maybe they're.
You know what? Look.
Downplaying it.
Well, maybe downplaying, maybe not, but I promise you, it's
still 40% of the revenue.
People go to that show just to see.
The presence of the show. Well, like Davidoff has a city, right? They got like a little, some little town village in there, right?
Oh, I watched the videos of people touring that weird with the light show inside and the dark room and the weird
setups. They put a lot of work.
Yeah, it was insane.
Drew Estate's size booth has never been of epic proportions. They're definitely large scale. I'm not sure how much bigger Davidoff is compared to them or whatnot. Outside the one bridge they had, outside the one year they had a bridge and whatever. It's usually a pretty simplistic square pattern, open space. They like their open spaces and to walk around. But it's not just that, but these guys are the guys generating major revenue for the show.
Not to mention all the sponsorships for everything, everything that goes with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you get people in their booths, and when you get more foot traffic, right, at the show, it's better for everybody. There's nothing like a booth overflowing. So what does that mean? Someone leaves that booth to go to another booth. I've heard people say they think this is a good thing. I'm like, I don't see how this is a good thing at all. And if attendance is anything like last year. They can't have another disastrous event this year. Like last year was it was an embarrassment last year, and they can't have another embarrassment this year. So I don't see how this is going to help right now.
Coop, Tatuaje pretty much utilizes a booth with My Father Cigars as well, right?
No, I think it's separated.
Yeah, separated.
They separated a few years ago, yeah.
Okay.
So they have a big booth. Tatuaje has got a pretty large booth. Maybe the next size down from like a Drew Estate, but an Altadis, but it was still a sizable booth.
Well, I tell you, in the upcoming weeks when we have you check in, it'll be interesting to see who you report as we hear who will or will not.
I'm very interested to see
the trade show.
Yeah, I think you're gonna. I think a lot of people going to TP. Look, I don't look at TPE yet as challenging PCA despite this situation. I think but coming out of TPE, I think you'll see people make decisions coming out of TPE. Some of these people going in to test the waters are going to see if this is viable or not, to spend the money in July.
Absolutely. So, all right, Coop, there's the second big topic, which we have not even gotten to yet.
Dun, dun, dun. You like
yeah,
that sound effect?
This is a different. This is going to be a little bit different conversation.
The tobacco purchasing age is now officially 21 as of December 21st, 2019.
Yeah.
What really shocked
congratulations.
me was...
Yeah, and congratulations for the absolute beating the cigar industry took on this, because not the cigar industry, the whole tobacco industry just got beat on this.
Beaten in what sense?
Yeah. Oh, you're getting
going. There
was
was no challenge to. And look, a lot of it was big tobacco, obviously not fighting this, right? But I'm not even talking tobacco. Nobody fought this, Abe. Maybe except that there was some folks in New Hampshire I know that did try to fight this, so I don't want to exclude them. But this was going on for 4 or 5 years with all these municipalities and states going down, and now the reaction is we got to do something. I'm seeing we got to do something. We got to contact Congress to get this overturned. I'm like beside myself on that. How you had 4 or 5 years? I mean, there were many people who were saying this is going to end very badly, and it did. It was a big loss, and now everyone's upset.
Okay, I think. Okay, so let's address that part of it first. I think it's very hard for, especially our side of the industry, the premium cigar side, which is even worse. Forget about the cigarette and all the other stuff. Just our side, right? Because I'm pretty sure that's what you're most concerned with. I think it's very hard to try to justifiably fought that. I think you would have been hard-pressed to go and win. Because, look, one of the things that I always am conscious of is all our arguments typically make sense, right? We don't cater to kids. No one walking in our stores accidentally being exposed to tobacco. You're walking through our door. You're a grown adult. You know what you're walking in for. You're not coming in for a Slurpee or a big gulp and, oh, look at all this great cigar. So all our arguments, our stuff is an artisan product, it's not a low-end product, have always made logistical sense, right? What logistical aspect can you really try to lobby and hold an argument to have a position that a tobacco age should not be raised to 21 and stay for younger people? I'm hard-pressed to find an argument there that I can make a sound argument on.
Yeah, and let me, Abe, one thing I'll agree with you at this point is this should not be blamed on our trade associations here, okay, or the cigar industry here. They were not going to spend. It did not make financial sense for them to spend the lobbying dollars on the organizations.
Well,
however,
wait, that's the other part of the equation is how much are we protecting? What are we really fighting for? That's the other side. But before I even got to that part, I'm just saying I can't even see myself, say I was sitting in the office of a senator, I can't see the pitch or the argument that I could even, where I could sound coherent and not biased, to say that raising the legal age of smoking from 18 to 21 is not right. I don't know. I don't see how I could do that.
How's it? Why? I mean, you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but why would? There was nothing broken about this, right? There was nothing broken about
agree.
this. And this goes back to the debate about adulthood.
Okay, that's another debate. I want to stay on this topic for now, right? Let's not discuss adulthood right now. Let's just because we talked about how nobody lobbied for it, nobody fought for it. Look, it's not broken. That's
when
fine.
I say nobody fought for it, I'm talking about the 18 to 21-year-olds didn't even fight for this.
No, because they're all vaping. They could care less.
They don't smoke. They vape.
Smoking cigarettes.
But that affected them too. It affected them too.
Smoking cigarettes,
because here's the reality, right? Here's the reality as far as they're concerned. Anybody who's 18, 19, and 20 and is smoking is going to continue to smoke.
Not going to be an issue.
It's not going to be an issue regardless of what the law says, right? They may not be able to walk in and conveniently buy a pack when they really want one. They're just going to have people they know buy them cigarettes and they're going to smoke. And technically the way the law is written is it's not illegal for them to smoke.
Most of the under 21 they didn't even know.
Well,
they came in and had to have a retailer tell them that it's now 21 and up.
Oh, here you go.
Should have made national news.
The fact that they don't know is going to go to my second argument on why 18-year-olds really aren't adults anyway.
Well, it wasn't on Instagram.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So look, I just want people to understand who listens. There's that guy Reagan Ray from DTD Cigar Shop, where it is. He keeps calling me a boomer. He called me a boomer, and then he called me a millennial, which I'm neither.
That's crazy.
Right? I'm Generation X, but, you know, he's out there. What am I going to do? I got employees that are under 21. Dude, like your world's going to stop, right? I mean, these aren't arguments. These aren't feasible arguments. And first off, as far as I know, every state I've been into, you could work a bar and be a bartender. So far that I've been into, I'm sure there's probably some states that are.
Yeah.
But you could be 18 and work in a bar as a server and a bartender. I had a cousin who owned his own liquor store at 18 in Chicago.
Wow.
Owned it.
That's ballin', man.
He bought a little. Yeah, he didn't want to go to college when he graduated high school. There was a little Quick Mart convenience store across the street from his junior high.
Man with a plan.
Right, where he used to go there and probably steal stuff after school, right?
Yeah.
It was a little, and he bought it and opened up a little liquor store at 18.
Good for him.
Couldn't drink liquor, but he was selling it, right? So, I mean, there's not, as far as I'm concerned, there's not a plausible argument to fight this. And I have, a dozen or so retail cigar shops, right? And 2 of my employees are in this room right now. I can't say that there's a significant segment of 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are coming into my establishment.
No, you can count on 2 hands the underage coming in.
Well, now underage.
Now,
it was legal before,
right? It was legal before, yeah.
I mean, so what are we going to fight? We going to fight? Is this the fight with all the things that we have to? Is this the fight that our industry really wants to take up? So I think that's why there wasn't such a big outcry, and to try to battle this, because I just don't think there's really a sound
Florida
argument.
definitely has a lot.
You can't in one side
that
argue
age
we don't
category,
cater to children. Most of our people are professional people, career adults who enjoy the passion, and then argue, no, but we want 18, 19, and 20-year-olds to smoke on the second side of that coin. It's a hard argument to make.
But there's a bigger picture here. These moves are being made as a series of prohibition-type moves.
I get it.
This wasn't like when they raised the drinking age from 18 to 21, right?
Great point.
You are going to see them come back with a next step with 23 or 25 sometime in this decade. You will see it, and you can mark the show down. And remember, I said that.
But here's the problem.
It's going to happen.
But here's the problem. It won't be that easy, and I know you don't believe that. But here's the thing.
There's a big difference between an 18-year-old and a 25-year-old.
It's going to be a big problem. It won't be that easy. Sure, that's their game plan. I don't see it happening, right? So now it goes on to our second thing, which really surprised me, because you were prolifically adamant and upset. Now I'm going to tell my 18-year-olds they can't smoke a cigar. They got to wait. You were like literally upset about this.
Well, Coop, is your son under 21?
I have 3 sons. I have 2 under 21 and 1 over 21.
No, the 1 over 21 actually works in the industry, right?
He worked retail for a while, right?
Okay.
And he's the one who uses tobacco. The 2 younger ones are not really as much. I'm not going to say as much, but here's the thing: when you raise children, and I know you guys have younger children, you kind of groom them to be an adult at 18, and it's kind of a long-range plan. And really, I started treating my boys as adults, when they were teens, right? Where they've had their own set of responsibilities, right? And I almost feel like this is just like, well, now they get to 18, they've earned these types of rights, and now we're just with a swoop of a pen. No, you got to wait 3 more years. I have a real problem with that.
Well, what about drinking?
But drinking's always, we've always talked. I mean, again, I had the drinking age raised on me in New York, actually, so I can tell you that.
And you still hold those traumatic scars until today, right?
Right. I don't drink a lot, to be honest with you, but I didn't like it, right? But when, again, 20, I think we've been groomed, they've been groomed their whole life that it's 21. Nothing was broken with that. I talked to Abe on the phone. I said, look, if someone comes in and robs your store who's 18, right, you're going to prosecute them like an adult. You're not going to say, well, their mind wasn't really developed yet.
That wasn't my response.
We'll give them a break till 20. You're going to prosecute them. Of course you're going to prosecute them.
That wasn't my response to you, though.
No, it wasn't your response. I'll give you that.
That wasn't my response. Because, look, here's the argument I made, because a lot of people got a little upset about what I said, right? I'm not pro-21 or pro-18 is that specific, but I'll tell you my opinion on it. But what I am is you can't be hypocritical about it. You can't pick and choose what real adulthood is. If you want people to go die for your country, you can't tell them they can't have a cigar or a cigarette or whatever it is they're smoking, right? If people are going to be allowed to get married and procreate and bring another live person in this universe and be married, whatever, you can't tell them they can't smoke.
They're adult enough to decide whether or not they want to smoke.
Right, so you can't pick and choose, right? But, here's the thing. Everybody thinks that 18 is adulthood, right? But you can't, look, there are things that happened 100 years ago, the way people thought 100 years ago, that we don't do today because times change, right? 18 years old, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, right? That guy was already lived a third of his life.
He was middle-aged.
Yeah, that was a middle-aged dude. This is a kid who was an apprentice.
That's a fair point you make.
This is a kid who was an apprentice at 8 years old.
Right.
Started working full-time at 12. By 18 was married and getting ready to have a baby. Right?
I just got a shiver thinking about that.
Yeah, during the Revolutionary War, there were 15-year-old guys holding guns and arms. Right? So, but that was your life expectancy.
Yeah.
You weren't starting a family by 18. The human race wasn't evolving, right? So, times have changed. You cannot tell me that the maturity for the average median 18-year-old today is of that kind of adulthood, manhood that it was 100 years ago. These guys can't get past their Twitter.
Huge difference. Had it been the driving age, it would have been an outrage.
Well, but here's the thing too: is
something.
Look,
Abe wants to change the driving age too.
Listen to me. I'm not saying. Listen, a vehicle is
when
a
his
weapon.
kids are 15 and 16, he'll change his mind on that one.
No, I want to raise it because let me tell you something. A vehicle is a weapon.
My mom waved me till I was 18.
A vehicle is a weapon, not only that can harm you, but harm other people.
That's true.
And you putting that behind a 16-year-old who can't take his eyes off the phone for 30 seconds during his waking life.
Scary.
Times have changed, so laws shouldn't be held to a standard that doesn't exist anymore in life. So as far as I'm concerned, my personal opinion, if everything got moved to 21, like I say everything, you can't get married till you're 21, right? You can't. Now, if you want to enlist out of high school and go to the military, you should be allowed to, but no combat time until you're 21. You can train, be educated, finish your college, and at 21, if you want combat time, you get combat time, right? No one, an 18-year-old just finished throwing up the morning after prom, and you tell me this guy should be able to vote on a world leader? Like he's got a clue. His ass hasn't touched the real world or anything real going on. So I don't think you should vote till you're 21.
It's a big topic. You could bring taxes into that conversation.
I know, but
People
taxes,
going nuts.
it's moot because kids are already working at 15. Because that's the whole thing. No taxation without representation. Well, it already exists. Right. 15, 16, 17-years-olds work and pay taxes and they don't get to vote.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
So that's a moot issue, right? So if everything, drinking, smoking, marriage, voting, military, if that whole gamut of what adulthood really is. Now, and Paul said, look, if an 18-year-old goes and holds, I said, look, in my mind, most 18-year-olds aren't adults. They get talked into bad shit. They get fooled. They get taken advantage of by people, and a lot of them go to prison. They're not bad people. So no, maybe an 18-year-old shouldn't be trying.
They're
as an
still
adult.
very impressionable. I guess.
Maybe you shouldn't be trying as an adult as 18. Maybe you should still try to salvage that kid's life as you can. Now it's a heinous crime. Yeah, great. Maybe he never gets out of jail, or whatever. But I don't have a problem if everything just made 21 adulthood.
Could happen in our lifetime.
Right?
You never know.
And I don't know.
think so?
But that's my beef. Now, you want to leave it all 18? I'm all right with that, too. But theoretically, look, perfect question, right? Paul's talking about his adulthood, right? Whatever. I said, Paul, so let me ask you something. If one of your sons, after he graduated high school, came to you and said, Dad, I'm getting married, what would you say?
After high school?
Yeah, 18.
I would probably lock him in the basement and let him never see that person again.
And I asked that to Coop, and what did you say?
I forget.
Oh, no. You said you said, I'm telling him it's not happening.
Right.
Right?
Yes, I did say that.
You said it's not happening.
But if he's an adult, you can't tell him that.
Point. Because look, I raised, you guys, 3 of you in this room have seen it. I raised my kids like adults.
Yeah,
I talk to them like adults. I raise them like adults because that's how they become adults, right?
But they're not adults.
But they're not adults.
Yeah.
At 10 years old, 8 years old, I was taking public transportation everywhere across town. My parents didn't know where I was. My kids want to go out and play in front of our neighborhood. I'm pitching a chair outside and I'm making sure the stadium within my eyes reach.
Yeah, but if you lived in a major metropolitan area, it would be more normal for your kids to take. I mean, kids my age that lived in the city still took the subway. They took the subway to school. I'm sure Coop took the subway to school.
I'm not saying it. Yeah. Like, okay, but we're not talking about Coop. I'm talking about
Coop's a lot older.
We're going to see how your kid, when he wants to take the train or go to Miami, how old you're going to let him.
Never going to freaking happen.
Well, this is my point.
Maybe 17.
Yeah, I don't want to take the bright line down to Miami.
He can take the train.
Yeah, but this is my point. Times have changed.
It's not touching my car.
The average now life expectancy, I don't know, is what now, 72, 74?
It actually went down for the first time ever in the last few years. But whatever it is,
that's
it's in
all
the
the
70s.
liberals,
It's not all the liberals. It's because of all the toxins.
It's a joke.
God, you just immediately.
Too many people eating the Impossible Burger.
Dude, by the way, don't eat the Impossible Burger. Beyond Meat is better because the stock keeps going up.
I'm waiting. You own some of the of course.
I made a lot of money yesterday.
I'm waiting to see when the adverse effects of the Impossible Burger and meat start hitting.
I might be having some of them now.
They have fake chicken now.
Does anybody remember what's it called, Olestra?
Oh yeah, was that like the early 90s?
Is it a diet?
Yep.
Olestra was this stuff they started frying stuff in. Potato chips.
Oh, yes, I remember the potato chips. You're right.
They would just make you shit everything out. You got no.
Yeah.
They had them at Subway. Lay's had an Olestra. Yeah.
Where is it today?
I don't know.
Yeah, because it fucking made a shit store.
It's an X-Lax.
I'm waiting till the Impossible Burger.
Margarine.
I'm waiting till the Impossible Burger makes people's meat start falling off themselves, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hey, remember when they told us all to eat margarine?
Yeah. Plastic.
Use margarine. Don't use butter, right?
Yes.
And then they used to sell those
margarine
big,
today.
those big tubs of Country Crock when it was Price Club. Remember that?
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So we got off topic, but so even with your children, right? You want them to be adults, right? But there's still certain things at 18 you wouldn't want them to do because why? You feel like they're not ready.
Like what?
Like getting married.
Like what?
Getting married.
That was one I gave you. At the same time, I understand. I don't think we should mandate an age for it either. I personally don't want them to do it.
Wait. You don't think they should mandate any age for marriage?
18, and not under 18.
Why?
But 18
Why
should be
is
the
18 the magic number?
Because again, we've kind of ingrained that is the age that you hit adulthood. That's how we've trained everyone all their life.
That argument is making my case. You're living on something you've been ingrained and not something that makes sense. You're making my case here. So let me tell you something.
If you're living like in North Dakota, though, why wouldn't it make sense?
You just told me 2 seconds ago that if one of your sons at 18 at graduating high school wanted to get married, that you would have felt absolutely horrid about it and wouldn't want him to do it. And the reason
I wouldn't want him to do it, but I wouldn't.
Listen, I'm not saying you would stop him because you can't stop him. He's 18.
Right.
He can tell you to go fuck yourself and get married no matter what you say. So you can't do nothing to stop him. But you would feel horrendous about it. And the reason why you'd feel horrendous about it, because in your wisdom and your judgment, in your mind, you're saying, this guy's not ready. He's not ready to start that kind of life. He's too young. So why don't you listen to your reason and logic instead of listening to what you've been ingrained with? That's my argument with you.
So I think one thing that really has been a problem, okay, and I've seen this happen with the 20-year-old age set, is when they extended the idea of keeping your kids on the benefits into their mid-20s. Mm-hmm. I think that's had a negative effect on work ethic and a lot of things right now. And it's a lot of the reason why a lot of these kids stay home.
So let me ask you a question.
I completely disagree with that, and I'm in that age group.
Let me ask you a question. So if my kid is over 18, but he hasn't started life yet, he went from basically high school to college, and he's going to be a student for another 4 years, I shouldn't be able to keep him on my medical plan as a child? I think you're absolutely wrong on that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there's a point. I mean, we didn't have that. Like, I didn't have that option.
There is a point. It's
25 years
called
when I was
21.
that age. I didn't have that age option.
21.
I turned out okay. I mean, a lot of people turned out okay.
I understand, dude.
I don't think
a lot of people who are born in the slums and dodge bullets all day turn out okay, but it's not what's best. You know,
but Abe, I've
the
seen,
judgment of I turned out okay
and I'm
is
not
not
talking
an
about.
argument.
Yeah, I'm not talking about you either on that at all, because I know there's exceptions to that. But I've seen a lot of these kids, like in their 20s right now, get very lazy because of this right now. And it's like, well,
That's
I don't need
true.
to worry about that because I'm on mom and dad.
Listen,
Might be right for this generation.
Listen to me. I got news for you. Are you older or younger than me? Because sometimes I can't tell by the way you talk.
Older. I'm older.
Okay, because you talk like
I'm older.
older.
I don't think he's much older than you, though.
So let me just tell you
I'm
something.
52. I'm 52.
Oh, so a little bit.
Enough. Half a decade, as I would like to say. So
right.
So listen, I got news for you. That's not making them lazy. Let's be real, Paul.
The culture is making
the
them
culture
lazy.
is making them lazy.
I
Parents,
think you combine that
no,
with the
bullshit.
culture. Yes.
Bullshit,
I'm
because
not
my kids aren't
disagreeing.
going to be lazy no matter how long they can stay on my medical plan. Let me tell you something. Parents have become lazy. People raising kids have become lazy. I see it
On
every
top
day.
of that, yes.
But let me just tell you something. My kids aren't going to be lazy, or if they are going to be lazy, it's going to be they have sustained 18 years of abuse from me.
I was just going to say, it's going to make their life a living hell.
I mean, there's nothing I could have done about it, right? Something. If it's going to rain, it's going to rain no matter what I do, right? But them being on benefits, which makes sense. This kid can't work yet. How is he
Even if
supposed to
they
get
can
medical?
work, I worked in college. Nobody was giving me medical benefits.
You worked because you worked and you were making enough to sustain, not to be able to afford medical insurance.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. There was no way
point.
I could have afforded it.
And most kids
and
don't
go
have
to school
full-time
full-time.
job where they get benefits. So your argument there is absolutely wrong. You know?
No, it's not. I mean, like I said, what has changed in like from 25 years ago?
I'm
when you
going to
didn't
tell
have
you
that
what's
option?
changed. People 50, 60, 70 years ago, a small percentage of people went to college. At 18, they started becoming adults. College was a privilege. It wasn't expected like it is today. You must go to college. Everybody goes to college. And we need to find out a way to give
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Okay, I'll give you that.
We need to find out a free way so that everybody can go to college. That's our politicians today, right?
Because everybody needs to go.
50, 60 years ago, if
I'll give you
somebody
that.
in your neighborhood went to college, that was a big thing. Oh, Bobby down the street's actually going to university. Wow. Everybody else started working at 18. That's not the time.
Look at the Rockefellers over there going to college.
Right? That's not the time. Times have changed. And guess what? Maybe eventually in our evolutionary process, the lifespan where the average human being is going to be 100. And you know when that happens? I don't care if you make 30. If that's what sense and reason dictates at the time, then I'm all right with it.
And Casey has a great point on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
He said, even if you think it does make them lazy, they don't think about it. Like an 18 or 19-year-old is not thinking about health insurance. They're on it. They have it.
Right.
But it's not a concern of them.
It's the concern
theirs.
of the parents
Right.
who worry that God forbid something happens
That's
to the
a great
kid.
point, Casey.
Because when you're 18-year-old kid who's in school breaks and shatters his femur because he got drunk at a frat party and jumped off the roof.
You don't have to pay $15,000 for him to go to the emergency
I
room.
can't insure him on my medical plan, and this kid doesn't have insurance. Yeah, that's who's worrying about it. The adults, not the kid. Kid don't care because he feels immortal. He feels like he's going to live forever. Nothing's going to happen to him.
Right.
Good point.
Coop, I was affected by this, but I was covered on my parents' insurance, I think, till 24, maybe, something like that, whatever the rule is. And then I didn't have health insurance. I had a full-time job that wasn't offering the benefit. I went 2-3 years without it, but it was the same thing. Like, who cares? I don't need it. I'm 26 years old. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And my father kept yelling at me. He's like, you get hit by a bus.
You're
who
screwed.
knows?
Yep.
I'm talking when they extended it into the mid-20s, not like from 18 to 21. I'm talking when they extended it. I think that is where it had a negative
I
impact.
think I was covered into the mid-20s, like 23 or 25.
Is that where you're going with the argument now?
Yeah.
Coop, it's voluntary. You don't have to cover them.
Right.
Just so you know.
Right.
Yeah, I know that. I know that too. But what do you do exactly as a parent going back with that? Yes.
I mean, look, it's very hard. You can make a very good, sound, plausible argument for 21 being an age for someone to be an adult today. And, you know, the world has changed, and if the laws don't evolve, it just won't make sense. It just won't make sense.
But you
It
guys,
doesn't
you
work.
and Coop also are. I mean, listen, there's a difference in our age. I'm 36. You guys are in your late 40s and early 50s.
I know, but our kids are closer, so we're more
That's
concerned about
true.
how we're raising our kids. He's raised his kids.
But
He's
you
done.
at 18 You at 18 was way different than me at 18. At 18, I was absolutely no question about it, still a child. Really. Like, I mean, my parents raised me the same way that you did. I had rules, I had responsibilities, I had things. But mentally, I could not imagine giving someone that was in the mental stability that I was in at 18, giving them any kind of...
Listen, was I a mature 18-year-old? Most definitely. I was the 18-year-old when I showed up at my friend's parents' house. Oh, you're going out with Abe tonight? Oh, you boys have a great time. Meanwhile, I was the worst one of the bunch, right? But I held myself like a mature adult.
You knew how to be
Parents
respected,
loved me,
mature,
right?
yeah.
But I look back at the crap I pulled. Driving down I-95 after a whole day of completely being obliterated in a torrential thunderstorm. Can't see 2 feet. I mean, the crap I did. No! Bad judgment.
Right.
Tons of bad judgment at 18.
Yep.
Tons of really, really...
That's kind of like when it peaks, bad judgment.
I'm telling you,
I mean,
at 18, between the hormones and everything else going on, you're not making a lot of sense
No.
at 18 years old. Now, was I a mature 18-year-old? Absolutely. But man, holy cow, when you look back... Yeah, when you look back at the things you did and thought and acted, the way you behaved sometimes, holy cow. How I made it, not either died, got maimed, or went to jail is a miracle.
Hey.
It's a miracle.
You're here.
I'm here.
Yes, I agree on that.
So, all right, this has been an exciting discussion topic with all of the 21 and PCA.
We'll have to agree to disagree.
It was all good.
Yes, and
exactly.
we will continue to fight another day. Coop, keep up the good work. We will talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Always good, guys.
Good
Thanks for
show.
coming on, Coop.
It's been
All right.
great.
All right.
The text messages I keep getting from people about all of these topics.
Oh, really?
I haven't even looked at my phone because I'm watching the show.
Yeah. Everybody's got a lot to say about vaping.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments coming in too.
Anything you want to discuss?
Casey's was a really good point.
Yes, it is.
And he made, actually, there is one thing I do want to mention because actually our guest Derek, who's still in the studio with us, mentioned it to me. But Eric Espinoza actually commented after we finished our discussion.
He will be there.
He said, "I can care less what manufacturer goes to the PCA. The problem is that more and more retailers don't go."
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. So,
and that led to manufacturers not going or not. I wish he would have said whether he was going or not.
I think he's not ready to.
Yeah, I don't think. I think he's in doubt. He's trying to weigh out.
There had been more consumers than retailers there at the last one.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
Anyway, let's take a short break. Then we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk to Derek.
We gotta take a break.
We do need a break.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
we
got
didn't do one this hour.
Huh?
We didn't do one this hour.
Dude, half our advertisers, I think contracts have ran out. We've been running on fumes because we're waiting for the new studio to build. I don't think anyone has a current advertising contract
Adam,
anymore.
stand up and he'll read it. You just introduce it. He needs to stretch his legs.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, I'm sitting for too long. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't get you on camera. I won't get your crotch on the camera.
Wait, is Derek coming over?
If you were a horse, I'd shoot you.
No, we can just go ahead. Do your thing.
Well, let's first talk about the genius who picked this caption contest. This caption in this picture.
You're gonna get your flack now.
What do you mean the genius? It is genius. You see all the damn comments on that picture?
Let me tell you something. How old do you think I am?
You know what? I was very surprised when you. I know
Oh,
how
I
old
told
you
you.
were. I was
How old do you
very
think I am in this
surprised.
picture? 18.
Oh.
That was a cruise. That was a cruise that my parents sent me.
You picked up a lot of alcohol for your party.
Your dad sent you on a cruise?
I was an adult.
That's amazing.
No, that's not what's amazing. I'm going to tell you what's amazing. After I graduated high school that summer, me and my first cousin took a cruise. Right? 18. Dude, look at me. My
he's 25.
My dad knew I was going into bars and pool halls.
He looks the same now, just with no hair.
My dad used to know I went into bars and pool halls when I was 18. Okay, so look at me, right? And what happened was I had gone on a cruise for the first one 2 or 3 years earlier. I think I was 14, maybe, and 14 or 15. I was 15, and everybody at the cruise saw I was like 22. So,
of course.
Yeah. So, anyways, I started buying beer at 13, 14. We couldn't drive. So we would buy like cases of beer. And,
that wasn't suspect to the clerk that the guys were walking down.
Well, they saw us walk out the door, but we would literally start walking down the street to get to the forest preserves, right? That's where we would drink. We'd find a patch of woods and start drinking, right? So, and I went to, Catholic boys' high school. So, I mean, there was a bunch of Irish kids. That's all they did. They came out of the womb drinking out of the bottle, So,
our schoolers definitely partied more.
I'm 18 in this picture. That's just sad.
Well, I mean, it's good now because now you look young, but then you looked old.
Well, yeah, you know what? It's funny because about 30, mid-30s, mid to late 30s, because all my life, I looked way older. I was 8th grade, whatever that is, 14, 8th grade.
Yeah.
I was 6 feet, 220 pounds. Yeah, big dude. So all my life, I looked way older, and then slowly life catches up. And then you start looking your
God,
age.
I hope that happens to me because I look way older than I am.
No, you just look old. You got bad genes.
I have great genes, actually.
You got bad genes.
I just have a bad look.
All right, I'm going to read the Insane Asylum, and then we're going to exit doing a little poll with Dynamite Derek Dukes before we exit
Welcome to the Cigar Asylum,
Did you know I'm utterly insane? We all go a little mad sometimes.
where logic and reason cease to exist.
I'm the king of my castle. Oh, God.
I love
Just
that.
playing that.
I love that.
I put the picture next to you.
All right. This week's inductees should think before they speak. Deputies of the Palm Beach, we're home here.
Yeah.
Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office responded to the reports of someone screaming for help at a neighbor's home. The homeowner next door, I read this. The homeowner next door was changing the brakes on his car when deputies arrived to notify him that his neighbor called to report there was a woman screaming inside his home asking for help and to be let out. The owner then went into the home to explain the situation. As it turns out, the woman screaming was his bird named Rambo. I was changing my brakes on my wife's car, and my 40-year-old parrot Rambo, I was perched outside where he likes to sing and talks, the man explained. Sometime later, 4 police officers showed up saying a neighbor called because he heard a woman screaming for help. I promptly introduced the officer to Rambo, and we all had a good laugh. He added afterwards, I also introduced Rambo to the neighbor who called in the screaming. Luckily, the neighbor also had a good laugh about the entire situations. Congratulations, Rambo the bird. You are... I think it's a neighbor who's really the inductee.
I think it probably is the
into
neighbor.
the Insane Asylum. Yeah, I think I was the wrong call. But it's like in Lake Worth. It's like 10 minutes. I want to take my kids to go meet Rambo.
Yeah, it's right down the road.
Seriously. It's like right down the street from us. I want to go meet him. It was because he said when when the bird was younger, I didn't see it in the story, but I read the original story. When the bird was younger, he'd have it in a cage. The bird doesn't stay in a cage anymore, and the bird would say, "Help! Let me out! Help! Let me out!" And he would scream that. And that's what the neighbor heard. Help! Let me out!
Brought to you in part by Celia and Asylum Cigars.
So I'd like to do this thing. I kind of enjoy it. Derek,
Derek,
go
come on over here.
Go right there. You want to go?
Yeah,
Either
come
one.
over here.
Take a mic. I want to do this thing now, and this is open to all you guys, right? I want you before we go out. I just want to do a little thing with him. I want to name some wrestlers.
Adam has a lot of places to be. He doesn't like the show going long.
What? No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, he's definitely not saying that.
I'm back.
So,
all right.
We're just gonna shout wrestlers' names, and in like 5 words or less, I want you to tell us what first comes to your mind, right? Okay. This is open mic, so feel free to jump in anytime you think of somebody, right? Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Oh,
legend.
Oof.
Mick Foley.
Crazy.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The man.
Hacksaw Jim Dugan.
Vanilla.
Ooh.
Wow.
Undertaker.
Goat.
Wow.
Goat?
Greatest of all time.
Oh.
Goat.
I didn't know. I'm not into that. AJ, go ahead and shout one out.
Goat.
Randy Savage.
Jerk off.
Wow. Roddy Piper.
Yeah. Legend.
Yeah. God rest his soul. Yep.
Hulk Hogan.
Drunk.
Oh.
All the time.
Ric Flair. Woo.
Goat.
Triple H.
Friend.
Oh, wow.
I grew up with Paul.
Oh, wow.
The Rock.
Yeah, that was my next one.
I think we already got that one, though.
We did, but...
No, it's a different game.
Charismatic.
Oh, he's being nice there.
The Von Erichs.
Legends.
Terry Von Erich. They all died, didn't they?
One left.
God, yeah. Whole family of brother wrestlers.
Andre the Giant.
Great call.
Legend.
I thought he was going to say Trouble.
Sean Hart. Wait. Bret the Hitman
Bret
Hart.
the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, that was where I'm going.
He's a tough one.
That's why we like this game.
He's a tough one because he's been up and down. Troubled.
Wow.
Very troubled. Definitely troubled.
The Ultimate Warrior.
Jerk off.
Wow.
Capital J.
He didn't even hesitate.
Capital
All right.
J.
Well, I want to investigate the jerk-off comment.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Goat.
Another goat. What was the jerk-off with The Undertaker?
No, that was Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, the Ultimate Warrior. That's right,
Yeah,
yeah.
he liked the Undertaker.
I wanted to say douchebag.
You can.
Yeah, you can say that.
He's a douchebag.
Any particular story that lends to it?
Yeah. He's just... Actually, I watched him die one time.
Really?
So, Hulk Hogan owned all of the gyms in Boston and California and Florida, and my uncle was one of the guys that worked the front counter. When I was little, Uncle would call me because it was literally across the highway from the garden. So I went over there one afternoon, young kid. He was jacked out of his tits. He was sweating profusely. He was crazy. He was, I guess, in the locker room doing a little extra, you know? So he
Supplements.
Yeah, supplements. There you go, medicine.
Yeah.
And he hit that bar, he laid flat down. He must have put 550 up like 10 times. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, it was ridiculous. He puts it down. I'll never forget it. I saw him take a deep breath. His whole body just collapsed onto that. It was laying flat on the bench. Went flat. So I grabbed my uncle. I go, Unc, I don't know what's going on over there. They pull him off. They're doing CPR. Call the ambulance, the whole thing. They revived him on the way to Mass General. Now here's the best kicker. 4 hours later, he's the main event at the Boston Garden.
And he did it. Wow. That was the life.
Wow.
That was the life.
But he was also such a negative douchebag about everything. If you ever asked him about someone, he'd tell you the worst thing about them, not the best thing.
Not a nice person.
Not at all.
Not a good person.
And if he had a chance to bury someone, he would.
All right, two non-wrestlers. Mean Gene Okerlund.
Entertaining.
Vince McMahon.
I was going to ask that one.
Strictly business.
It's a good saying. Anybody got any more before we
Shawn Michaels.
Troubled.
Mr. Wonderful.
Paul Orndorff.
There's old school for you.
Brilliant.
Really?
Never spent a dime of his wrestling money.
Really?
Yep. Had a smart wife.
That's good to hear.
That's why he retired so young.
It's good to hear. Good for him.
Investment guy. Crazy investment guy.
I wouldn't have known that.
Kurt Angle.
Big-headed.
I can believe that.
Gold medalist.
Because I was standing next to him the night in the ECW locker room when we... you can actually Google this. We crucified the Sandman. We put him on a cross.
For entertainment.
For entertainment.
Okay.
We crucified the Sandman, put him on a cross, and wrapped him in barbed wire and hung him above the ring.
Jeez.
Kurt Angle was in the back room because he was becoming a professional wrestler. Right. I was standing 2 feet away from Paul when Angle snapped on Paul. Every other word was F. I want my money now. You're out of your fucking minds. I'm not dealing with this. This is... Oh, yeah. He's a little intense.
Derek Dukes, are we retired now, or are we defending the belt?
I'm retired, brother.
Done. So do you get to keep the belt indefinitely now?
Well, I can't get a hold of the promoter.
Well, that's a good way to end your career.
What a shame.
That's a good way to end your career.
His website's gone. His cell phone doesn't work.
Dude, you couldn't ask for a better exit.
Tell me about it. Now I get to keep the original NWA US
Yes.
title. Where do I sign?
Good for you, man. All right, well, listen, we hope everybody, we made up for the 3-week hiatus that we had. We tried to make a good show for you today.
We went nice and long.
It was good to be back. We had a lot of interesting stuff
Guys,
to talk
thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being on
Thank you,
here.
brother.
Thanks to Evan Darnell and feeding us.
Oh my God, on.
We got to have this guy here on a regular basis. Colin, good to see you. Good to be back. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thanks to Coop for calling in and having a great discussion about all the interesting news topics we've had since we've been gone.
Yes, we wish everybody the best in 2020.
Even though Coop is out of his mind.
Good to hear, right? And good to have AJ Smokes back in the room after a long hiatus.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
back.
Good to be back,
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
All right, I guess we catch
There
you
he
next week. Who's on the show next week?
We don't know.
What? We remember we had to discuss this. So
Really? Still? You suck as a producer. I guess some things just aren't going to change in 2020.
You had one job.
He said
You got
Paul
one job.
sucks. He said Paul sucks.
All right, I think let me reach out to Lou. I know he's in town.
No, he's not available.
He's not available. I had lunch with him a couple weeks ago.
I talked to him yesterday.
All right, we'll get somebody on by next
We'll
week.
figure something out.
There'll be somebody here. Don't
There'll be
worry.
somebody here.
Oh, yeah. Till then, and as always, keep it lit.
You're listening to KMA Talk Radio. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're on Instagram too.
Yes, it's mandatory.